Harry Kane, Lucas Moura, can you do something, please? Last chance, Matt Doherty!
Oh, you shite! There could be
From
the dead to the
Don't fuck it up now, Go win it!
Let's go
Last
for the
chance!
third.
Stephen Bergwijn! Stephen Bergwijn's through! Win it, Stephen! Come on! Yes! He's won it! He has won it! Oh my God! Oh my God! We did it! Welcome. It is Friday. It is the 2022 version of April the 22nd. And you're back here with me, Sean Butler, at the Spurs Talk Show. In case you didn't know, you can find me at Spurs Talk Show on Twitter, at Spurs Talk Show on the Instagram, and Spurs Talk Show on YouTube. Hashtag, all one word, hashtag no spaces. And you know why there's no spaces necessary? But if by now you don't know, then where have you been? The reason why is quite simple. If you put a space between the word Spurs and talk, or the word talk and show, then you might not find me. You might find the San Antonio Spurs. And there is a channel over in San Antonio, Texas, who hasn't posted any content, not one piece of content in the last 3 or 4 years, yet his subscriber count is still going up. It's still going up. So some of you are finding him, not me. That's why we need to say hashtag no spaces, hashtag all one word all the time. How's everybody doing? It's almost game day. And we haven't done a show on this channel for, I think this is almost 2 weeks, because I've been lazy. I've been a little bit sick. I've been a little bit busy. And the cocktail of combinations and variables all equal the fact that you have been absent any Spurs Talk Show specific content. And we're going to make up for that right now. We've got an eclectic mix of people that are in the background. We've got 3 guys that are waiting to come in. We've got more people that are going to hopefully join. And this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm already going to explain it and apologize in advance. It's not going to be the usual kind of show where you have a dearth of statistical analysis and abundance of content that's ready to blow your minds with the preparation that usually goes into a show. Not today, because today this is impromptu. So it's going to be a round table, a circular table, a square or a rectangular table, and we're going to just talk about the Brentford game. We're going to talk about some of the news that's out, whether Conte wants to leave and go to Paris Saint-Germain, whether or not Christian Eriksen is going to come back and play that pivotal role. We don't know where it's going to go, and that's the beautiful thing about live content. I apologize in advance if I'm shouting, and I also apologize in advance if I've got a little bead of sweat on my head. The air conditioning in my house isn't working. Anyway, hope everyone can bear with me. Please like the show. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that the next time I can be bothered to be regular with my content, you can find it first and be joining the content whilst I'm going through this unnecessarily long rant. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done with the intro. Let's find out who's in the house before we get to the people that are the most important, which is the people in the comments. We are going to find out who's the people that are really going to bring the flavor today. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring them in the order in which they joined the background. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, please give it up for, oh, wait a minute. I'm not going to do the doorbells. The doorbells come for late when people join throughout the show. I made a new policy about that. In order. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the man, the myth, the legend. He comes from Shelf Side Spurs. He is known throughout the community as under one name. He has a life. He has a song. He's known as Owl's Life. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Alan Harris.
Ta-da! Thank you very much for that, Sean. I'll tell you
I need to get a better repertoire for your intro, mate. I need to know more about you before I can really bring it in. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. A lot better than I was yesterday, but yeah, on the mend.
Good man. I hope you are feeling slightly better, and hopefully, get yourself a beer. Have you got a beer? Do you drink?
I'm not a drinker because I'm on blood thinners, so I try and avoid it because it messes me blood system up, sort of thing. So.
Okay. Well,
that's why I only ever have one beer when I go to a football match.
I had noticed. Always the most sober man around the community. Not like me. I'm the usual the smash one who's vomiting on the floor. Stay right there, Alan. Let me get the rest of the guys in, ladies and gentlemen. Please give it up. Like this. This show is one that brings you content and people from all over the world. And this guy's coming. It's already gone midnight. It's already game day where he is. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the man, the myth, the legend from SpursTalkShow TV. It's Eugene.
Hi, guys.
How are you,
Eugene, the man?
Yeah. Do you hear any kind of background sound? Like, it's actually raining here now.
No, we can't hear any background sound. I can barely hear you though, buddy. Is there any way you can turn your mic up a little bit?
Hold on. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah,
Much
that's
better.
a bit better. Yeah.
So for those in the comments, Eugene is currently at work. I think he's had a bit of some sort of crisis at work. His car's broken down or something, so he might not be able to hang around for too long. He's going to jump in and jump out once all of those incidental activities get resolved. Stay there, Eugene. 1 second. Let me bring in the next guy. In trap number 3, ladies and gentlemen, you might know him as any one of 17 different names.
No.
Oh, no, indeed. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the only man who I have ever forgotten to make a bacon and egg sarnie for. He didn't hold it against me. He picked me up. He drove an hour out of his way to take me to Ben's coffee shop last Saturday morning for game day. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for however you might want to refer to him. It could be Barry. It could be Sean. It could be Ranjit. It could be Barry Jit. It could be anything. But we know him as the Bazda.
How are we doing?
Yeah, my name.
How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I only just got off the phone to you, so
We're fairly well we're acclimatized to today's how's everyone doing kind of thing, right?
yes. So no, I'm good. I'm good, mate. I'm just listening more bullshit coming out from the media today about Conte, like you said. But no, I'll be glad when, like I said to you earlier, I'll be glad when half term is over and the kids fuck off back to school. So
You already sworn. It's 9 minutes and 22 seconds. The last time I swore inside of 10 minutes, I said the F word after 3 minutes. I think it was after 30 seconds when I made a mistake in my usual early ramble. And YouTube didn't show my show to anyone for 19 hours. It had 0 impressions. So cheers, Barry.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Stay there, mate. We got one more guest to bring into the show at this stage of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how else to refer to him. I used to have an intro for him that I've subsequently found out is not only erroneous, but also it's so out of touch. It's so out of place. It's so far off the mark. I can't even say it anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the artist formerly known as the guy who had the only guy in the community who had the audacity to put numbers in his name. But now it's just another guy in the community who has the audacity to put numbers in his name. It's Cuba99.
The man.
Big up, lads. Thanks for having me on, Sean.
Thanks for coming on, my friend. Thanks for coming on. And you know what? That was the 5. As the show started, that was the 5. And now that the show has begun and there's someone else just joined, I think I've got to do the usual old thing just for this man.
Are you going to get...
Who could it be? Who's at the door? It's not a doorbell.
Someone's knocking at the door.
Someone's ringing your bell. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up. I told you we bring people from all over the world. One person's already in Saturday. Somebody else is already still maybe in Friday. That's completely wrong. I'm just going to say, ladies and gentlemen, it is the one, the only, the man who's got 6-packs on his index fingers. He does so much work out for them. Please give it up for Mr.
Out.
Brian Daigle.
What's up, people? What's up?
Right.
Sean,
Right.
you got to. We're only 5 hours behind you, not a day behind you. So
I know.
you realise that it's midday here. It's
I
midday
know.
here.
I know.
It's that milky drinks, Brian.
It must be. It must be. How is everyone?
Good,
Good,
mate.
mate.
Good.
Good.
How are you doing?
Good. I'm good. I'm good, mate. I'm good. Been a stress-free week after a very stressful week before. So all good. All good.
And
Good
and
man.
have you
Good man.
been for a little venture yet to go and see Bobby K?
No, I haven't seen Bobby K yet. He's too far. I did speak to him after, then told him to wash his mouth out with soap and water. But yeah, it's all. Yeah, I spoke to him. I spoke to him very recently.
All right, good boy, good lad.
I just saw someone in the background, but he subsequently decided to pull the plug. I'm not gonna. Oh, hang on a second. He just sent me a message saying he was in, but he's now out. Someone's got to do something. So maybe he'll come on later on. Hopefully you can. Doing the hokey cokey. Talking about the hokey cokey, our top 4 chances are a little bit hokey cokey. For the previous 3 months, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people in the community were like, it's never going to happen. Never going to happen. We haven't got the team. We haven't got the squad depth. And then suddenly things started going our way. And then some people were like, it's on. We're in. Top 4. We're in. And then suddenly we lose to Brighton. And then Chelsea somehow managed to put out a terrible performance, a little bit suspiciously poor performance against Arsenal. And then all of a sudden, the top 4 chances are kind of back on the knife edge. And those people that thought it wasn't going to happen, that suddenly became hokey cokey in, are now hokey cokey out again. I want to find out where everybody is before we get going on the Brentford preview. And before we also get through some of the news that is going on. And before I do any of that, I did want to find out what your thoughts are generally on top 4. But before I do any of that, I've been completely remiss of me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. 13 minutes in, and I haven't even said hello to who's in the chat. So let me do that right now. I believe there was a raid from the coffee company's Friday afternoon show. Thank you very much, Benny boy. I hope I didn't overlap in any way. Oh, who's gone?
Eugene.
Come back, Eugene. Hopefully he's getting his car fixed. Alex Hilton, hello, mate. Good to see you. Appreciate the raid. And coffee beans. Oh, there's loads more people coming through. And if you smell what the cough was brewing, I had the coffee. I had the pleasure of Ben's coffee on Saturday. I was next to Ranjit. Ranjit had he had his two coffees and was going, Sean, I'm fucking buzzing. And I was like,
I had that on one espresso, Sean. I was there one day. I think I had a single or double espresso. Mate, I was absolutely flying.
It didn't affect me. It didn't affect me at all. It was the nicest coffee I've ever had in my life, hands down. Like, full respect to Ben's talents. But in terms of like making me shake, didn't. I feel like coffee doesn't have that effect on me.
You start off like that. That probably brings you down.
I certainly flew up the steps to my seat a lot quicker than I normally do. And that was only because Brian said, go and have that espresso. And I thought, why not? Let's just get on with it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking, someone's ears are burning. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Woodford's #1 coffee brewer, the roast of all roasts. It's Benjamin Kaufman.
Hello.
Hey.
Ben boy.
All evening, all.
That was quite new to me, Ben. You started off like that. That's how I end.
Yeah.
Is that your new thing? You start how I end, brother.
We're like the opposites. We're like 2 of us. We need to be apart. It's like, what's it called? The mirror image.
There you go.
100%.
Perhaps
100%.
you could be Levy in, Ben.
Absolutely not.
Good answer. Good answer.
We're going to get to that, I'm sure, at some point in the afternoon sessions. Let me just get through the people that are waiting patiently for a shout out because we love them all so much. Jason Bell has come across from the coffee shop as well. Thanks for stopping by, Jason. Appreciate you, mate. I'm pretty sure you're a subscriber. I'm pretty sure you are, my friend. If you're not, hit the bell. If you are, don't hit it twice because then you'd be unsubscribed and we don't want the numbers to go down, we want the numbers to go up. Anthony Gray's in the house.
Yeah.
He did the raid. It's all part of the raid. I love this raid thing. This is like a Twitter. This is a Twitch thing, isn't it? Where you raid channels and stuff.
I sent
like
it all over for you, Shawnee.
Appreciate it, mate. I appreciate it. Tyler's in the house. Conte wants to leave thoughts. We're going to get to that shortly, my friend. Bear with me. I'm going to actually asterisk that one so we can come back to it. The Conte news has killed my mood. It's all nonsense, I think. But let's stand by, buddy. Stand by. Kirst is in the house. Big up, Kirst. How are you? Do you want to join? Come and say hello, Kirst. I haven't had a female on my channel yet. Oh, no, I have. I've had Ellie. Sorry. I have had Ellie. That's a lie. But I'd love you to come on if you want to stop. And the same goes for anybody else who's in the chat. The link is at the very top. Kirst, I hope you're well. Americanka is in the house. Hello, Americanka. How are you, my love? Last time we did a show, I think you fell in love, or there was like some sort of Twitter, some sort of what's that program called? The matchmaking thing, whatever. You fell in love with someone fell in love with you. I don't know, it was all very weird. I was quite jealous actually. Anthony Gray's in the house. I previously predicted a home win against Brighton and a draw against Brentford. We mucked up Brighton, so I want my Brentford draw turned around into a win. That's okay. We can do that. That's the beautiful thing about predictions that haven't yet come to pass. You can always change them. Americankers again. Alan, Kirst, Eugene, Ian Ferguson. Hello, mates. Good to see you. Afternoon, all. Benjamin Kaufman. Bob Spurs in the house. Good afternoon, beautiful people. And hi, Sean. Piss off, Bob. I've been waiting for a chance to say that. Jason Groves, big up the panel. Big up to you, my friend. How are you, buddy? Gaguma's in the house. Hi, Gaguma. How you doing? Lovely to see you. Alan Glauber. Hello, my friend. I haven't seen you before. You've got a very interesting background picture to your name. It's like a spreadsheet or a recipe or something. I'd be curious to know what menu, isn't it? Good to see you, my friend. Haven't seen you before. Thanks for stopping by. Derek Hutchinson's in the house. Big up all of you guys. Big up to you, Derek, mate. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you, buddy. Who else we got? Who else hasn't been here yet? Americanka's just saying, I'm sorry. I'm just reminding everybody about, we don't just put out good content. We make we love.
Matchmaker.
That's it.
Match.
And Spurs 72's in the house. Afternoon and evening, Sean and the panel. 100 fist bumps all around. Thanks everyone for stopping by. If you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button. 25 of you in the house. Do it. Keep it going. Let's get the content rolling. As I did say, we don't have too much. It's going to be a bit of a round table. But I do want to go around the table straight away and find out how everyone's thoughts are. Just generally, no specifics. But after the week we've had, following the 2 weekends we just had, that was the best weekends anyone could have ever possibly wanted, that really set alight our top four hopes. And then suddenly, all the wheels come falling off against Brighton. And then, of course, Man United win. And then Arsenal do the damage over Chelsea. How are we feeling right now? Points. It's all much tighter, isn't it? I think Tottenham are still odds-on favourites to finish fourth, according to the bookies. But that doesn't mean anything. So we'll start with Al. As you were first on, my friend, tell us how your thoughts just generally going into tomorrow. Are you optimistic, pessimistic?
No, quite positive, mate. I think we're going to do it. I think at the end of the day, earlier in the week, I was thinking West Ham have got 2 hard games and they're not going to play a strong team against them because they want to concentrate on Europa. But I've since thought about it. If West Ham don't win, put in the performance in them 2 games, then they've got a chance they won't even finish in Europe at all because Wolves are right on their tail. So that's what I'm hoping anyway. But yeah, I'm a lot more positive than I was earlier in the week. Okay, interesting. Barry, has the Chelsea game ruined your mood, or
no?
Are you still glass half full? what are you up there? Where are you sitting right now with your kind of like overall, thoughts before we get into the specifics?
I kind of had a bit of a rant the other day when I went on We Are Tottenham TV, and that's probably the first time anyone's seen me kind of rant. But look, we need to forget about who Arsenal are playing, who West Ham are playing, who Chelsea are playing, who Man United are playing. We just need to focus on us. We need to focus on, at the end of the day, we need to match the results of what happens. If Man U draw and we draw, we're still in fourth. If Man U win and we win, we're still in fourth. If Man U win and we lose, we're still in fourth. So we just need to focus on what we're doing. Stop this. For me, the Chelsea game was, like Al said, was utter garbage. It's no coincidence that Chelsea are short on money, and I'm calling it now, that Sky or whoever has passed them a brown envelope or advanced their payments for their TV money to make sure. I'm genuinely being serious, right? Because all 4 goals, all 4 goals, right, are absolute bullshit. Yeah, all 4 goals the other day. Yeah, Mendy didn't die for the second one. Saka was holding Azpilicueta, was like pinning his arm in there, so he was very clever. And the guy, just ridiculous. The whole thing was ridiculous. So yeah, I think it's corrupt. Football. Well, we know football's corrupt. Sky have passed Tuchel a brown envelope to get Arsenal back in the top 4 because that's all that Sky want, and I would love it. Right, I don't think it's going to happen, but because I think it will happen at North London Derby. I would love it if it was done before then, so we could all sit there to Sky, stick our fingers up at them, and go, up yours.
All right. Well, coming from the man who said, let's not focus on anything but ourselves, and then goes on and spends 3 minutes talking about Arsenal and Chelsea game.
I've learned from the best. I've learned from Mr. Post Office when he talks about West Ham. Oh, I'm not going to mention West Ham. Mate, you just mentioned their name.
But whilst we're on the topic, West Ham are going to win the Europa League. All right, thanks, Barry. Stay there, but we're going to crack on and get the general thoughts. Eugene, you were next up, buddy. How are you feeling at the moment? Just generally, no specifics. Just, are you still confident? Were you ever as confident as, some of the community were, as I was? Have you always had a little bit of like, it's typical Spursy? Tell us where you're at generally right now.
No, the confidence has always been there. We trusted Conte, right? But we never trust the squad. We didn't have the depth in the squad, but he's turned some of them around. But of course, sadly to say, it's all in our own hands, right? Whatever happened with Arsenal and Chelsea, Chelsea has never done us any favors, right? Battle of the Bridge and all that things that's never happened. Yeah. So I expected, actually, I told you too, I expected Arsenal to beat Chelsea. I never. Oh,
did you? Okay. Yeah.
I expected them to beat Chelsea because Chelsea most will let them win the game. So it is. Do
you really believe that? Like Chelsea aren't necessarily safe in third. They're not. No, it's not like there's like a 12-point gap. Like
that's what I said. Okay. That's the mistake they're gonna make, right? If we beat Brentford, and if Chelsea screws up in this weekend, right, we're just 2 points behind them. We're 2 points behind them, so that could be Chelsea's mistake, right? But it is what it is. We have to focus on our own game. We have to be there and willing to fight for it, right? And what I feel now is that, generally top 4 is in our hands, and if we don't get it, too bad, right? So it is what it is, and let's see what happens on Saturday. And to tell the truth, I think we will beat Brentford because if we've lost to Brighton, right? Let's see how it goes after that. So guys, I have to hop off for a while because the mechanic is calling me now. All right, I'll be back.
Come back on,
Eugene.
Cheers, Eugene.
I'll be back.
Mr. Daigle. How you feeling, my friend? I know you said you've had like a bit of a crazy couple of weeks in life generally, but there's been a crazy couple of weeks to be a Tottenham fan. How are you how are you feeling about the whole thing right now with Tottenham?
Let's face it, to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan, you have to be crazy. So that I'm just following type. So listen, I said for ages, I don't think we're getting Champions League. Then we got to fourth. and the performances and everything started to win me over. And I really started to think, you know what? Maybe Conte is going to work his magic this season. We'll wait and see what he does when he has a full season. But last week's game was horrific. The performance was horrific. And I think the added pressure of knowing that if we win, we really set Arsenal a target, kind of put more pressure on them, and they didn't know how to handle it. I've said for weeks that I've been very concerned about this Brentford game, sorry, and I said a draw, and I stand by it. I stand by it being a draw. I got a feeling that Brighton game could come back to haunt us, but then you could say Southampton and Burnley and Burnley did, and Wolves. So you can't really blame it on this game. But this game to having at such a crucial time is not good. Is not good. And obviously Arsenal got United, and if Arsenal get a win, then let's just see how we handle the pressure. Let's see how we can handle the pressure playing second. I'm still thinking we'll get fourth, but now it's become more of a discussion. Are we going to get it, as opposed to what it could have been?
Would you rather be an Arsenal fan right now? Like,
no, I'd rather try than be an Arsenal.
No. Wait, I'm not saying. Okay, like if you were a neutral, or if you came from a different planet and you stepped in right now and you just observed like the momentum shift, the squad that we have, the squad that they have, the teams to come, the games to be played. If you were a neutral and had to pick an allegiance, would you think that Tottenham have got enough about it, or would you rather see, or do you think that Arsenal have probably got a bit more, in their favour when on all other things being equal?
No, I think I'll still be a Spurs fan. The only reason I say that isn't because I've got my Spurs hat on. If you look at it, that North London derby is always going to be huge, but now it could have another facet to it. And I think us being at home and the record we have with them at home does that. And you look at the squad. They're getting injury problems. We haven't really got the huge injury issues they have. So I think I'd still go for Spurs. But yeah, we've just got to make sure. If we were going to say we have one slip up, everyone would have said, yeah, that's the Liverpool game. Now it's like we cannot afford minus Liverpool. I don't think we can settle for less than 3 points in every single game. Just because if we do slip up, there will be someone that will take it.
Yeah. Okay. And Kuva, I'm going to ask you. Like, I'll let you expand. First of all, how you feeling generally, right? I know you're someone who, during like the early part of 2022, I remember you walked away a little bit from the community because you were just like fed up of how disappointing it was. And then, now you're feeling a bit more positive, or you have been. So I'd like to ask where you're currently standing, but also like I'd like you to then lead into the next part that I want to go around a bit. So you'll be the first one on this, and I want you to tell me what it is that happened against Brighton. Like, what was it why did we not show up? Right? Was it brilliant tactics from Potter to squeeze the midfield? Was it the fact that Bentancur got a yellow card early and that kind of fucked up our rhythm? And the same with Kulusevski. Was it the fact that we just, that we have no confidence going down the right? So tell us where you're feeling generally at the moment, and then explain to me in your words what you think, what the fuck happened? Because Brighton was such a massive letdown that nobody really saw coming. So I'd love to hear your kind of synopsis as to what the fuck went wrong.
We just about did it there, didn't you? I was about to log out now.
No.
Where can we find you, mate?
I mean, it could be any one of those things, or something else.
I can't remember the start of the question. It was so far back.
This is the problem of being a host on a multi-panel show. When you don't really get much chance to speak of your own opinion, you have to kind of put your own opinions into the questions.
You lost me at Happy New Year. Brighton. Combination of so many things. It really was. End of the day, the biggest problem for me is our lack of squad depth showed our inability to change the game sometimes. It's okay if you want to bring on some speedy players and things like that. Sometimes you need that extra bit of grit in the midfield. People are talking about we needed the extra outlet on the wings. It was the only way we were going to get beyond Brighton. But I think they would have countered that if we put the extra players out wide, because they were trying to funnel all the balls out that way in the first place. They always had a man dropping back further to cover in case Sonny got ahead of his man. They just had everything thought out. What we couldn't do was match them for pure steel and grit in the middle of the field. They were utterly dominant there. Basuma was awesome. He was absolutely outstanding, best player on the pitch. We didn't have the likes of Skip to come in to just give that bit of fire, bit of terrier-like running around and getting stuck in and just fight them for it. Because sometimes you just have to match your opponent, stand toe-to-toe with them and be patient, wait for your chance. Some games aren't easy to win. Some games aren't pretty. We needed that. And we just didn't have anything to go to match that midfield. The way they were cutting off service to Kane was outstanding. They were well drilled. They've got a good manager. I know a lot of our fans don't rate him at all, but I think he's an outstanding manager.
I like him. I think he's very good.
Yeah, he's working with peanuts and getting them to perform. I mean, that showed literally.
I don't think it's peanuts though, is it? Like they've got Brighton.
Comparative to some of the other teams.
For me, Brighton are like one good striker away from being a very good team. They've got like a wonderful kind of nucleus at the club, and they got nobody up front. They've got Danny Welbeck or Mopé, and both of them are just useless. So for me,
quality striker is always a hot commodity, though, isn't it? You could argue it's one of the hardest positions to fill properly because the valuation is always higher than other players. You get a goal scorer; they are worth their weight in gold. So,
so what would you have done differently? Like, what if you saw what happened? What if you were Conte? How would you have affected the game in game at half time? Would you have changed the formation, changed the tactics, changed the what would you have done?
The only thing I could see that was going to change anything there is take a real risk and shove Romero into that centre midfield. Getting stuck in there. Take on Basuma. Don't let him boss it.
That's interesting.
Dominate the midfield from Romero's point of view. Either that or Dyer. It needed somebody like that, somebody with a bit of power.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
And
I haven't heard that before. I've never heard someone suggest Romero to be put in there and into a midfield role. That's
well, he's a quality player. You could put him anywhere on the pitch. He's going to do well. I mean, not striker, obviously. Well, he probably did.
He likes to drift. He does like to drift forward, doesn't he?
But yeah, we needed somebody that was really going to boss it. I mean, people love to big up Højbjerg. I'm not a great Højbjerg fan, I must admit, but he's been doing all right for us. But for me, he's a player that is more like the annoying mosquito type. You can't get away from him. He's going to keep sticking a leg in, being really irritating, stopping you playing. But he isn't powerful. The amount of times you see him knocked off the ball or just knocked over by the opponents. I mean, you can't match his power to Basuma's. Basuma's much more powerful, man. We needed the physical matchup there, in my opinion. And that midfield, get the grips there. Would have enabled us to go through the middle a bit more if we know we're not sort of bossed there. Maybe get a bit of help for Kane to help Kane get onto the ball there. Just having another player around him. It was a difficult thing to change up because Brighton were prepared for it, and they could. It's pretty obvious they could see our shortcomings that we weren't going to get the midfield, and if you play for everything going down the wings as your only form of attack, you just double up there. It's pretty easy when it's all going like that. There's nothing we could do about it. That was the frustrating part for me.
Interesting.
You can try a few things. You can try and get people to run past people on the wings. So maybe that was the only solution. We didn't look like we'd really tried. I agreed with bringing on Mora because he's industrious. He does at least work hard. Perhaps we could have pressed them a little bit higher up the pitch then, but it didn't come off. It was just a bad day at the office. I don't think we should get too down on our team. Sometimes I feel you just got to hand it to the opposition and say, "Well done, you got us that time." For me, that was the case.
So we're going to generally drift into the Brentford preview, but before we do, I do want to just ask anybody in the panel, is there any other learnings, right? Like, what could we have done that we didn't? And also, is the fact that Brighton was so clinical, so well set up for the Tottenham, the predictable 3-4-3 and the predictable substitutions, that we don't really have a plan B, unfortunately, given our squad depth at the moment. Alan, I'll come to you first. Like, is there anything that we, other than writing it off as a bad day at the office, we have to learn something from the from the shit show that it was.
Yeah.
You know, looking forward to Brentford. Now, Brentford's a different outfit altogether to Brighton. They haven't got the same strength on the wings. Brentford are a very tall team. They've got the Pillot guy. I'm not sure if he's playing. We'll go through the team news shortly. But if he is playing, you know, he's got those killer long throws. And they've got like the third tallest team in, I think, England across all the leagues.
Yeah.
So like we've got a different outfit, like a different threat, a different problem to overcome tomorrow. But is there anything that we can learn, Alan, from like the fact that Brighton came with a new game plan and they just absolutely destroyed us? Is there anything we can learn? How can we adapt to that against Brentford if the same sort of thing happens in the first half?
To be honest with you, Sean, I honestly can't answer that because I think Cooper hit the nail on the head. We have not got the squad depth. Yeah. People were saying we need 3 or 4 players a little while back, blah, 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 just strengthen the squad up. Now they're going to be bringing in 5 substitutes. We now need 6 or 7. You know, we just haven't got the squad depth. We haven't got nothing on the bench to change. You know, when you've got Winks to bring on, when you've got to bring Winks on, what are you expecting to change in the game? I honestly think on the actual game itself, I think we'd have been better off. Myself, I thought we would have been better off bringing Bergwijn on a bit earlier. Just the fact that I think he would have performed better with more minutes. I mean, bringing him on with 3 minutes to go, I don't think it helped us.
It's insulting, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Moura. I love Moura to bits, but at the end of the day, Bergwijn has shown when he's been given a few minutes, he has been a little bit more of a pest. With Moura,
do you think though the reason why the substitutions are just like so predictable and like for like is that of the front,
no one else to do it.
But also like of the front 3 that we've got, Kulusevski has got less kudos, less like gravitas, less like brownie points saved up. And so if you're going to make substitutions, it's always going to be Kulusevski that comes off before Son, and therefore it's always going to be Lucas that comes on before Bergwijn, and Harry Kane's never going to get taken off.
Yeah, it does seem to come over that way, but as I say, you can't take Kane off because you ain't got another one to even get anywhere near that position at the moment. I mean, Dane Scarlett is just that. Dane Scarlett needs to be played just in a couple of like, how do you put it? Because all games are important, but he needs to be playing with someone like Harry Kane to know how to think. I mean, he played three or 4 Europa Conference games, and every one of them he was playing up with on his own.
Yeah.
No one to. He needs that little bit of teaching, I think, up there. I know he plays with him possibly in training, but I think he really could do with, if they're going to bring him on with Kane from the start, not 15 minutes left to go when you're 3 or 4-0 up.
Yeah.
You need to have a bit of experience, and I think
I'm not even sure Dane Scarlett was on the bench, was he?
No, he wasn't even on the bench. No.
Barry, let me ask you this, mate. King Hoddle's in the hi, King Hoddle, mate. I hope you're doing well, bro. It's a really interesting question. It's something that I was talking about, and I actually had a bit of an argument with Irish Hotspur about this yesterday on his show last night. I feel like I'll just posit my opinion and I'll let you run with it, Barry. I feel like formations have their time in the sun. Like 10 years ago, 4-4-2 was the staple, right? And then that became extinct as 3 at the back came in, or wing backs became a new model, or putting the 5 in midfield. I feel like the new breed of managers are going to either move forward beyond the current system, the current popular formations, or they're always going to have plan A, B, and C, or like playing 3D chess where they'll, during the week, they'll presume that the opposition are going to set up to play a certain style against a team that always plays a certain way. And then on the day, they'll come out and play a different formation to catch the other team off guard. That's not something that you can really, that's not like an option that you can afford or complement Conte with, right? Conte likes his style, but it's very rigid. It's a one-trick pony, and it's a very, very, very competitive and competent one-trick pony, but it is a one-trick pony. King Hoddle's asking the question, are we inflexible? And if so, is it just because of the the limitations within our squad, or is it also because that's just what Conte knows, and going to a back four to change things up, isn't something that he wants to do because he doesn't teach that at training. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? And if so, just run with it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I mean, it took nearly 2 minutes for you to fucking explain it, but
no, that's what I do, mate. That's what I do. That's what I do, bro.
So if we take King Hoddle's question, which is a lot simpler, because I got lost, and you know me, even at this time of the day, Barry's nodding off.
Forgive me, I'll try and be more succinct.
Yeah. So I mean, look, there's two things for it. So yes, he's been successful. Yes, we have issues with the squad. So that's kind of really the answer. I mean, look, I think we've probably seen, like someone else has said, we've probably seen that slightly more success with 3-5-2 rather than 3-4-3. And I think if we go back to what Kuva was saying about the midfield, it was screaming out for someone else, like you said, to whoever it was, to go in there and kind of help Bentancur and Højbjerg out. And I think, look, I think that the other thing that we need to kind of get back in terms of the squad as well is that we need to stop getting too involved in the games in terms of surrounding the referees, because that was very clear. And I think we let that affect our gameplay as well, rather than just playing. Okay, I know we're always going to have that point where they're going to disagree with a decision, but we don't need to let it affect the game and the game management that we need to go into. So, yeah, look, I think we all know the issues with the squad. We all know when Winks came on. I mean, I was pretty much ready to walk out when Winks came on because nothing was going to change. And look, if it's like in anything, yeah, in any job that we've done, you've done, anyone's done, you have your style and you have the way that you've done things because you've had success with it. And okay, you may have certain tweaks that you will tweak with it, but at the moment we don't have those tweaks to be able to do. So you go with what's worked previously because you know it's successful. You know that formula's worked, and you could say it's arrogance, you could say it's stubbornness, but I would always go to my go-to. If there was a problem at work, I would always go to the set process of what needed to happen. And I think that's kind of what we're doing. But we all know, like Alan said, with the squad, the 5 subs, everything else, we can't let it affect us, and we can't let it us take away from what's happening in the game. And I think that again is kind of what we let happen at Brighton. We let what was happening in that game, in that moment, affect everything. And I said last night, I think is that, look, however we need to break it down, whether it's half by half or 15 minutes by 15 minutes, if we win those 15 minutes and we win more 15 minutes or more halves than we do lose, then we're going to be in a much better position. And I think that's how we need to kind of approach things moving forward. And then look, when the season's done, wherever we finish, whatever that looks like, then we can start talking about, is Conte going? Formations? Who do we get in? Who do we sign? Because at the moment, I think we're letting ourselves get involved in. I've seen how many comments I've seen about Conte's going to PSG.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
And I know you're going to come on to it, and I'm going to hop off now because the kids want feeding. But I guess my point is Tottenham Hotspur, like with all our jobs, they will, 9 times out of 10, they will still be there, right? When someone leaves or whatever. So let's not get hung up on what someone said or a tier 1 said or a bit of rumour or anything else, because that's what then allows us to then get embroiled in it, and then we miss the focus of what we need to focus on. I've kind of gone from ranting Ranjit to philosophical Ranjit there. But,
and all in less time than it took me to ask the question.
Exactly. So Sean, sorry I need to jump off, but unfortunately kids are kids.
No, crack on, mate. I appreciate you coming on, man. If you got
And,
time later, we could still
yeah.
be going.
If I can jump back on, I will jump back on.
This channel might be done in an hour, in 45 minutes, or it might be going until.
Well, if you ask 10 more
so.
questions, we'll be here till tomorrow morning. So,
cheers, Barry. Love you, man. Thanks,
mate.
mate.
See you later, Barry.
All right, Benny boy, come to you next, mate. Let's take the chance to move swiftly into that, like, because there's a lot of people asking about it. The news out of Le Parisien newspaper in France, obviously, is saying that Conte, in private, is confident that he's interested and can make a transfer to PSG at the end of the season, and that if that happens, then Poch would be the most likely candidate to come back. How much credibility do you give to it, Ben? And if you give any credibility to it, how do you feel about it?
This is, I think, is a very good tactic from Antonio Conte's camp. He knows that Levy is known for not backing his managers. So what he's doing is he's leveraging this PSG interest to say, if you don't back me, I'm going to Paris Saint-Germain. So this is what I think is happening. This is the perfect thing we actually need for Conte, because Conte wants to be at Tottenham. He loves living in London. Living in London is his favourite place to live. He's already having a good time here, and he wants to try and win the Premier League. He loves managing Tottenham, from my sources. He loves being here. But he needs one thing, which is a team that can challenge. And if he's not given a team that can challenge, he's off. And PSG will give him shit tons of money. So, in my opinion, this is probably smokescreen from Conte's camp. But at the end of the day, I think it's total bollocks. I think Conte is staying at least to the end of his contract. And I think they'll give him what he wants this time. Because Levy knows if this manager leaves, this man to my right is going to have to say about it. And I will be right there behind him. And so, yeah, this is his last chance.
But do you think he leaves? If there's any truth to it, do you think he leaves before Levy's got a chance? You're saying no. I'm guessing you're saying no. But if there's any truth to it, do you think it's saying like it's done and he doesn't really care about what happens in the summer? He wants an easy life where you can go and just go and win things in France. It's so easy to win things in France if you're Paris, right? If you're PSG. So, or do you think it will be dependent on whether or not Daniel Levy comes to the table?
Yeah. He wants the money in his credit card or in his debit card. He wants the debit card. This is how much money I'm going to get. This is how I'm going to spend it on. We're going to do it. That's what he wants. He wants backing or he's off. It's the entire thing. It's what we've been saying. This is not news to us, really. This is what we've all been saying. If Conte is not backed, he's going to walk. And now there is an interested party. So Levy now has to get his money out of his pocket, back Conte, or it's going to be meltdown. As much as we love Poch, we don't want to. The part of the reason this team is failing is because we've got Poch players that failed under Poch. We need to get rid of them. We need new players under this new regime, and we need to go into the future. We need to stop being sentimental and looking at 10 years ago. We need to head into the future, because otherwise we'll just stagnate. So I think this is all bollocks, personally. I think this is more shit from the media just to try and unsettle Tottenham in a pivotal point in the season. They always do it. They've done it with Harry Kane this week. They're doing it now with Conte, the media, and they can all sod off. Baffanculo, as we say.
In which language is that?
Italiano.
Oh, come on, that's clearly Italian, isn't it?
No, I know, but I'm pretty sure I thought you were from Israel, or I thought you were Jewish, not Italian.
Oh, I speak both, apparently.
Oh, well, okay, fair enough. Brian, mate, you've been sitting there.
That's the universal language of fuck are you.
Brian, you've been sat there very patiently waiting for. I can see you underneath the thing, sharpening your knives for a point. Listen, what do you take on the whole on the news? Do you buy into it? Is it all bollocks? Is there, because this isn't the first time we've heard that Conte, the PSG Conte, Pochettino coming back thing. And I'll also ask you one last question before I let you rant away. But I would like you to add this to your answer.
Yeah.
Is there an issue just in a scenario where we go and spend 150 million or 100 million on players for a Conte system, right?
Yep.
We go and buy specific, centre backs for a 3 at the back role or wing backs or whatever, and then he fucks off to Paris anyway, and then we get Pochettino as a replacement who doesn't play a back 4, doesn't play a back 3, he plays a back 4. Then are we going to then have a bunch of players that we signed for a Conte system that are not necessarily adaptable? Include that in, and that's a big problem as well. If that's the case, then it's 3 years in or 25 years into a 3-year rebuild. Include that in your answer.
I'll start that as my answer. Listen, this is Tottenham's biggest problem ever, and I've said this for a very, very long time, even on your channel, Sean. When we first started coming on, and you and me were having our heated debates, our fun heated debates.
Yeah,
this has been the problem. Ever since Harry Redknapp left, who's an attacking manager, in comes AVB, who's a defensive manager. Out he goes, in he comes. Out every single time. Liverpool sack a manager like Rodgers. They bring in a Klopp who plays an attacking brand of football. It's not even. Yeah. We do this every single time. We have no identity. Like Bob Spur always says with Jose, we lost our identity. We can't keep going. Attacking manager, defensive manager, attacking manager, attacking. You can't keep doing that because exactly what you said is going to happen. Exactly what you said is going to happen. Now, this is a huge problem. Forget Poch coming in. If Conte goes, and I'll come on to that in a second, whoever comes in needs to have an idea to play a similar 3-4-3 or something like a Conte, so he has the nucleus of the players to fit in there, or he has to be given considerable amount of money and get the players he wants in and the players he wants out for whatever price he wants, not that man. So this is the huge thing. But what I will say, just alluding on to what Ben said, I can categorically confirm that Conte is absolutely ecstatic. He loves being at Tottenham.
I thought he did as well. Yeah,
I can guarantee it. He loves it. You got to remember, when a manager comes in, it takes a little while for them to get a song, and like we didn't have one for Jules Graham. For Poch, it took
correctly.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's as soon as Antonio came in, and that song is probably the most sung song at the ground. Definitely the loudest. There is something about obviously chanting his name. Yeah. There is such a passion and love for him from us, and he feels it. What do I think there's any truth to it? Not really. Do I think what Ben said, that it's brilliance from his team, maybe putting a few feelers out there?
Yeah, okay.
Maybe it is that. But what you got to remember as well, PSG categorically, everyone knows this, want the Champions League. That's what they want more than anything in the world. Every single time at every single club, the Achilles heel for Conte is Europe. It is the Achilles heel. So if you're trying to hire a manager with European pedigree, yes, he's been an international manager. Yes, he's been out and about and around the grounds and won titles. He has done nothing of substantial, or to say he can manage well in the European competition. I think the quarterfinals is the furthest he's got. Well, PSG, that gets you the sack.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I don't even understand why this. I understand why this has come up. They've got to sell papers or get Twitter out there, everything. But if he does go, exactly what Ben said, it will be because he's not being backed. It won't be like, right, okay, I'm going right now. If we get who he wants, Conte stays. It's that simple. It is that simple. Now, everywhere you go in life, you try to set people up to succeed. Well, that's what he needs to do now. He needs to set up Conte to succeed and back him in any way. And you know what? The thing I have to say as well, because it was such a great comment, I was hoping you was coming to me on it, was King Huddles about the 3-4-3 and the tactics. Do you know what? It's his default setting, and let's face it, his default setting is damn good. And do you know what? I think he will be flexible with the formation. Just right now, he hasn't got the players available to have the confidence to switch it. So he's staying as he is. I mean, don't get me wrong. If only Skip was fit, I'd love to see a midfield three of Højbjerg, Skip and Bentancur. I think Bentancur could be more of a general midfielder.
Who would step out then?
Oh no, I don't see that. That's what. Listen, I'm just giving my view. He makes the big bucks. He can make that decision. But
I love that, yeah. Don't challenge me on it. I haven't thought it through.
No, but I'm saying if you look at it, he could do that. He could do that if he needed to, and do it more regularly as he wanted to mix it up and play the game. But at the moment, he can't chip right back. We're looking at not Emerson. People are talking either try Sessegnon or play Kulusevski or Bergwijn, who aren't right backs but can play that position. Yeah. They're not right. You're a right back. You go in. So I think he could experiment, but if he does experiment, he has not got the players to do it, to see the benefit of it.
Yep.
I mean, just mention.
I'll stay there for 1 second, Alan. Just quickly, because they've been waiting patiently in the background. I'm just gonna.
Okay. I've got to jump first, Shawnee. So thank you for letting me on. Sorry for such a shot. I've got to clean the bloody shot.
No. Where can people find you, mate? Let me get your link.
Yeah, you can find me at the Coffee Company. Like most of you were in the chat today, so thank you all for joining. Hopefully you come back and mostly like this channel as well. I don't know how many likes, but everyone like this channel. Everyone support the guys on the panel. It's a great show to be in. It's a shame I can't spend more time, but business comes first. So thank you for
appreciate you stopping by, Ben. Thanks, mate. Love you, man.
Take care, Ben.
Big up, Ben.
If you smell what the coffee is brewing. Cheers, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, please just quickly hit that little link in the chat. It doesn't take you away from the channel, and then just go and hit a little subscribe button on Ben's channel. We're all part of a synchronistic community here, which is looking for synergies everywhere we go. We want to find people that can help people, and that's what we do here. So hit the link, and then go and subscribe to Ben's channel, and then you're staying with us anyway. Before we come to you, Alan, I know you wanted to say something. I just want to quickly figure out if someone was at the door. Somebody was at the door, but it's not one person. It's two people. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring them in at the same time. I'm going to say they are what the artists currently known as in one instance, and also currently formerly known as part of Tottenham Tantrum Gold. I'm not even entirely sure what the relationship is anymore, but they're still best of mates. It's Hollywood Phil and it's Damon.
Phil, get in there, my son.
How are you doing?
How's everyone doing?
So I've only just come to sell you health insurance, Sean. I've just come in to do.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I could do with.
Would you like to?
Yeah, I don't want any, but I should probably take a quote at least. I do smoke.
I need the commission.
That's my smoking status.
Yeah, I need the commission quick.
Okay. How's everything going with you two? You good?
Yeah, go on, Phil. You go first.
Yeah, all good. Literally just another long day at work, so I was just chilling out time and saw the links. I thought, let's come and say hello. It's been a while since I've been on, so
it has, mate. It's been a long time, man. I'm glad you stopped by. Really appreciate it. Let me just quickly come back to Alan, and then we're going to come to Phil and Dermot to get their takes on what we've been talking about. But just quickly, Alan, I know you wanted to chime in with that one quickly.
As Brian was saying, we ain't got the squad. Our best performance this season, even though it might have not been a win, it was a draw, but our best performance this season was when he reverted to a 3-5-2 and played against Liverpool.
Yeah.
That was one of our best performances on paper this season. Okay, we didn't win and we didn't score minutes ago, but that was one of our best performances. He played a 3-5-2. And all right, we never had Bentancur at the time, but he can change up, but we just haven't got the tools. And at the end of the day, he's got no trust in Winks to be able to do that at the moment, which is quite understandable.
Yeah, 100% is understandable. Like I think, like Barry was saying, when he came on, we were all thinking, well, that's not going to help us create anything at all. Listen to Brian's point. If Skippy was injured, is there an option then to go to a 3-5-2? Yes, there's the option, but that still doesn't allow you then any injuries. I personally believe that if Skippy was injured, it would still stick to the 3. He'd still stick to the 3-4-3. He would just be more. He'd have more options available to take off Bentancur if he's got a yellow card.
No, but he might have changed it. He might have changed it up against Brighton when he see that the 3-4-3 wasn't working.
He
just never had the tools to do it against Brighton to change it up, to make it something different. because
100%.
he hasn't got the tools. I mean, that's why really we need someone. Not only Winks back, we also need someone else to be able to play in case Winks ain't there, and we haven't got it.
Yeah,
we haven't got it.
I mean, God fucking forbid we get an injury to either or a suspension or anything, or a red card to one of those two in the midfield. Before we come to Phil and to Dermot, I just want it's the hour mark on the show, and you know what we do on this channel. Every hour of the live stream, we take the chance to share the links of the people that have been very generous and with their time to come on. And so you've got in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, there's 52, 53 people that are watching right now, which is awesome. If you haven't already, please hit the like button to this channel and the subscribe button if you haven't. But also, please just take the time to hit the link to Shelfside Spurs, to Tottenham Tantrum Gold, and to Tottenham on Tour, all of which are in the channel. Just go over there if you haven't already and just smash the subscribe button. We try and throw around as much love as we can, as frequently as we can on this channel, because it's important to help everybody with their individual journeys. Let's come to Phil first. Phil, mate, do you want? Is there any? I mean, do you? We can move on to Brentford. We haven't even talked about the Brentford game yet, which is what the kind of the show was about. But there is obviously a little bit of news out there right now about Conte maybe fucking off to PSG. It's the same old recycled news story, and Harry Kane maybe going to join Wreck-It Ralph and Eric Ten Hag. You know, do you buy into any of this stuff, or do you think it's all just paper talk? You know, preempting the usual news rounds. Where are you at with it, mate?
I think there's a lot to do with transfer kitty, summer targets, etc. Certainly with Kane, it's all about the ambition, isn't it? And he wants the club to be going in the right direction. And I just think Conte won't take any nonsense. He's done 6-9 months of it now. You know, does he want to do another year with it like that? I would hope, and I'm really hopeful that he's playing a game that he knows Levy can't win. So I'm kind of erring with I think he'll do next season. I think this would be a monumental achievement if he could turn this team around with some good summer signings. And obviously, as a normal deluded Tottenham fan, you're just ever hopeful that this summer it just might be different. I mean, I'm reading he wants 6 players.
Yeah.
Which again, feasible.
Is it enough?
No. I would say there's probably only about 5 or 6 of the first team squad that you would sit and pin your hopes on and say they're dead certs. The rest of them are all upgradable, but you can't get realistic. You can't go and get 12, 15 players in a summer. So you start with your essential areas and then you build up. And that's always the hope. The thing is, you've got a lot of freebie players, people that are out of contract. So some of the people we're linked with, they're not the massive fees that you would expect. That De Vrij, 16 million. You're hoping just go and get.
Is that all De Vrij's going to cost?
That's in the reports I've seen this week. It says
16 million.
Inter would accept 16. So if that's the case, why are you not getting that deal done today? It's like get it done, announce it the second season's finished. So there are a lot of people out there, but I still go with Levy's in last chance saloon, and he's surely not that stupid that he can think that he could do a couple of little bargains this summer and hope that Conte will turn it around, because Conte doesn't need this. We need him far more than he needs this job. He can walk into any job
to a degree, but I would argue that moving to Paris, I think Brian made the point, right? Like winning Ligue 1 or whatever it is with Paris is not really, like any kind of real accolade. And is he going to win the Champions League with Paris? Maybe, maybe not. But if he doesn't, then it's not going to really count that much to his record. I genuinely think that if he was to, first of all, if we were to finish top 4 this season, there's a shout for Manager of the Season award, unless David Moyes goes and takes West Ham to the Europa League, then he'd probably get it. But to take this Tottenham,
maybe Klopp if
he gets the quadruple, whatever.
The unthinkable happens, but
true, but it'd be some feat for Conte to take us to top 4, and then with the 6 signings, it would be because most of the top managers in the world have only ever really managed the top clubs. Pep Guardiola has never had to do it on a shoestring budget He's always, same with Klopp. I know, don't get me wrong, he's taken Liverpool to amazing levels, but he's had the money to do it, and he's backed. He's been backed accordingly, and he's put the money from the big sales, the Coutinho sale, to fantastic use. There's very few managers that have won the Premier League or won, Serie A or whatever, that then go and do it with an also-ran team in any league and then go on to great things. And I think if Conte could do it with Tottenham, it would be the greatest managerial feat. That would put him at GOAT status, I think. Do you agree, Phil? Or
Yeah, I do. It's like, we think we're the great big club and everything, but we're a long way off. But if you look at the difference he's made, even in that short time, and we know we're desperate for players in certain positions, but when we sit there and we're like, God, Ben Davies, he's got to start. 12 months ago, no one's saying that in the Tottenham fan base. I remember going on one of the shows before we played Man U, and as soon as we saw Davis in the starting lineup, we're all like, this game, we've lost this, and we did. And now we're chuffed because he's playing. So he has made the majority of people better. There's just some more to do. But if you can get him to do that with a higher level of people and you can make them better, then who knows?
All right. Okay. Thanks, mate. I appreciate your insights there, Phil. Dermo, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel, mate. How you doing? How you feeling? How's everything going with you? Just quickly before we get into the topic.
Yeah, I'm getting better every day. I feel a bit better today than I did yesterday.
Good, man. Good. And you're feeling better tomorrow, especially if Tottenham can do the business, right?
Yeah, Tottenham win and Tyson Fury wins. That'd be good.
Tyson Fury will definitely win, mate. Just before I ask you a question, just going to answer Mick Hermeluk's question. I am doing the watch along, but I'm not doing it on this channel or Irish Hotspur. I'm actually doing it on We Are Tottenham TV. So I'm making my debut on their channel. Where's the other question that I wanted to ask? I wanted to give it over to. Here we go. Dermot, I want first of all, I want you to elaborate on the Conte stuff. If you've got anything to add, we've been going around the circle that the trap's a little bit on it. I don't think there's anything too much more to add. If you think there's anything more to it, please feel free. But also, you can take the lead on this one from Derek Hutchinson. Do you think that Harry Winks' time at Tottenham is done? Essentially, do you think that? I know we all hope it is, but is there any scenario where you see him being still a Tottenham player in 2000 or in September 2022?
Yeah, I think the Conte to PSG is. I think it's a load of nonsense. I think it's just the media scaremongering again, like they normally do.
Yeah.
I think he would get more satisfaction out of winning trophies with us than he would winning trophies in France. The French league is very poor anyway. It's only one team that wins the league every year. And as Brian said, all they want to do is win the Champions League. So I don't think Conte will go. Levy, as Phil said, Levy is in last chance saloon, but do you know what I mean? He needs to back Conte now to bring in the players he wants to make us, because if he does, we will be contenders next season. I think we generally will.
Yeah.
And
with 6 signings, is 6 enough? I think the as far as the news went, the 6 signings were a replacement goalie, 1 centre back, which I found strange because I think that you could argue for 2, 1 right wing back, 2 midfielders, and a replacement striker or like a backup to Harry Kane. Is that enough, or did you want to see us maybe sign 7 or 8 players? Like what's enough? What's enough for you this summer?
I think we need to get the business out where the areas we need fixing needs to be fixed. We need to bring the right players in for the right positions. There's no point bringing in players, spending money willy-nilly. We need to spend it in the right areas. If that means 5 or 6 players in, I'll be happy with that. I'll be happy with 3, as long as they're decent, world-class players that do their job.
Yeah.
We need a centre-back, I think. We do need wing-backs. If we can get, I think somebody said it the other day, if we get Bale, I think Barry said, if we get Bale, Eriksen in, and a centre back, I think that'd be a start.
Yeah.
And then, but it'd be great to get these players in before pre-season, so Conte can work with them in pre-season, get them in what he wants them to do, and start the season raring to go.
Okay.
And I really do think if we get the players in, I think we can win something next year. I think we can get top 3, and that's not just because we've got respect with Brian. I think we're all disappointed with Chelsea not beating Arsenal the other night. But that means if that gives us a chance, we're only a few points behind Chelsea. If we finish third, we qualify automatically, I think, for the group stages.
If Rangers win the because of the new changes to the coefficient, if Rangers were to win the Europa League, then we finish. Then we qualify. Even if we finish 4th, we qualify automatically to the Champions League, which is super fucking strange. I don't know why that or how that's figured out.
I thought all 4 positions.
Yeah, it changed a few years back. It changed a few years back.
Top did 4. It change? Did it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
It's been 2 or 3 seasons now.
6 seasons.
I still think we can get third. I don't think third's out of reach from us. Chelsea are not in a great bit of form.
No, Dermot.
And if we can run, and if they lose a few games, I honestly do. I'm not being delusional. I'm actually.
It's okay to be delusional. It's okay, Dermo.
The Tottenham fans, this goes with the territory, but we're so far behind.
I think the problem with Chelsea, as I say, if we'd beaten Brighton last Saturday, I can promise you Chelsea would not have put that team out on the field they did. So it's under strength with everything. Yeah, apparently Rudiger's showing up as a groin strain, but he's under fever. He'll be back at the weekend.
Yeah, of course he will. Of course he will.
Yeah, Rudiger, they're linchpin player. And as I say, you've only got to look at the 4 goals they conceded against Arsenal. You know, I don't think one of them was genuine. I really don't.
Oh well, let me take one piece of the because Dermot touched on one topic, and it's a good segue. Christian Eriksen. Dermot said he wants Christian Eriksen to re-sign. There's more news out today. I haven't got it in front of me, but it was on Twitter earlier about Conte's comments. I don't know if anyone could bring it up, but his comments essentially were super positive about Christian Eriksen. Brian, I'll come to you first, and I'll come to Kuba second. Start with this. Right? Do we? Let's sort of drift into the Brentford game now, because this was supposed to be a Brentford preview, and we spent an hour and 15 minutes talking about things off of it. Christian Eriksen, right? First and foremost, he's playing against us tomorrow. Is there any chance you think that he might put in a slightly under par performance? For to do his future team a favour? No, he's gonna try his best, is he? Well, that's no good, because for me, Brentford are gonna be super dangerous at set pieces. They're the 3rd tallest team, I think. They're the 2nd tallest team in the Premier League, but I think they might be the 3rd tallest team either in England or in Europe. Their average height is 6'1.5". Tottenham notoriously weak at set pieces anyway. Brian, I'll start with you, mate. What's your thoughts about tomorrow? Take it where you want to go. Talk about Christian Eriksen if you want to, or just talk about the game. Are you confident? And then where do you see us winning the game? How do you see us beating this team that are on a fantastic run of form?
Well, it's very hard for me to say how we're going to beat them, because for about 5 weeks I've been saying on all pods that I go on streams that Brighton is a huge banana skin, and I think we're going to get a draw. Been saying it all over the shop. And this was before they started their run. Listen, let's not forget what Brentford have done against big teams this season. They beat the Filth. I know I said big teams and the Filth in the same sentence, which unfortunately I have to. They battered Chelsea at Chelsea. They gave Chelsea a great game at home, and only Mendy saved them. They drew with Liverpool. They've now got Eriksen changing everything, who's made a huge impact. This is not an easy game, and now you've got the added pressure of you have to make up for last Saturday, and then you add the pressure. Okay, Arsenal, United, one of the results. If a draw, it suits us to the ground. If one of them win, it kind of is like, oh, here we go. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on us. And as Sean was just saying, set pieces is going to be a huge. It's our Achilles heel, and it's one of their strongest. So when you look at it that way, it looks very hard. You got to remember as well. A lot of people are saying they're mathematically safe now. They'll be on the beaches ready. No, they won't. It's their first game, knowing they won't get relegated. This is huge for Brentford Football Club. An absolutely mammoth occasion. They got to stay up. Everyone said they'll be their favourites to get down. I even said they won't go down. I actually thought they'd finish in the top half. But that might fall a bit short. But do not think Brentford are a pushover just because we're the mighty Tottenham and we need a win. This game is going to be a lot harder than we think. And do you know what? When it comes to Eriksen, he'll probably have the game of his life to show what we're missing.
Don't say that, mate.
But listen, you've got to remember, mate. I could come on here and say, "Oh no, he's gonna have a shit game. Every free kick he has, he's gonna shoot backwards because he wants to pass."
Well, that's what he did. That's what he did for the last 2 years at Tottenham. So one more time at Christian.
Yeah, but this is the thing. He's does he have a point to prove? In a way, he does, because I'm still not happy with how he left. That really hurt me.
Neither am I.
Because I adored
down tools, Brian. He down tools.
I adored Christian Eriksen. Adored him. And I actually nicknamed him "Where's Wally?" Because you never saw him in the big games. So that's why I nicknamed him. And it was so hard to see it, and so heartbreaking to see it. And you know what? I think because of the way we were, and we all know why he left, and we all know the reason of who he left. Basically what Harry Kane did, but the only difference was Harry Kane is he's got a contract and Christian Eriksen didn't. So he loved, mate. The most important thing with Christian Eriksen, thank God he's able to play on a football pitch. Thank God he's able to do the thing he loves. After what was obviously the horrific thing that went through, that overtakes everything. But yeah, I am concerned about this game. I'm really concerned about this game.
Yeah, same. Okay. Well, Kuba, come to you next, and then over to Alan. What are your thoughts? Let me, if you don't mind, Kuba. I know this is not me like spending 3 minutes asking a question, but let me just take the chance quickly to. I feel like I've been fucking buried today for taking too long asking a question. I feel like I'm a little bit sensitive about that. I need to
even the preamble's taking ages.
let me just read out a couple of the stats, right? So Brentford host Tottenham at the Brentford Community Stadium in the Premier League on Saturday, with both sides having contrasting seasons so far. Brentford are currently 12th in the league, with a win potentially taking them up to 9th. Their gaffer Thomas Frank's side have been in strong form of late, having won 4 of their last 5 games. They will hope to take the momentum into the game against Tottenham on Saturday. In terms of team news, Ethan Pinnock limped off during Brentford's win over Watford, so he's currently a doubt for this game. But apart from that, Brentford have got no fresh injury concerns. Same for Tottenham. Nothing more to mention about it. In terms of stats, Tottenham have won both of their previous fixtures against Brentford recently. Spurs came away as 2-0 winners in the reverse fixture earlier in the season. That was at that game. A Serge Canos own goal and Heung-min Son's strike were enough to secure the victory on the night. Tottenham are currently 4th in the league for goals per game, having scored 1.8 goals across 32 games so far. 1.8 goals per game across 32 games so far. Brentford are 11th in the league for the same statistic, having scored 1.2 goals in their 33 games. Spurs are 6th in the league, Kuba, in goals conceded with 1.2 goals per game. Meanwhile, Brentford are 13th with 1.5 goals per game. So the statistics would have you believe that both teams are going to score, both teams are going to concede, and it could be like one of those, plus 3 goals is a solid bet. That's as far as I got with my preparation for it in terms of statistics. So this was an impromptu show. I'm done with my rant. Kuba, take it away. What are your thoughts? What are your fears? Do you worry about the set pieces? Go. I'm going to stop talking.
I was going to say, keep it going another couple of minutes. I'll give you a live commentary on how I think the match is going.
Cheeky cunt.
We'll just go straight to the post-match. Be quicker.
Yeah. Which season?
Very good. Very good.
No, the few things I was going to say about Eriksen, it's in my opinion of him seems to be quite an unpopular one, but I don't think he did down tools with us.
Really?
He got disillusioned, but you look at his running stats, he was way ahead of everybody else still. He was putting in the effort. He just lost, he lost his love for it. He needed to move on. His form had dipped horrendously. Now, if it was just downing tools, then how come he was so bad when he went over to Italy at the start? He was still in a horrendous patch of form. Surely, if that's all, it was him downing tools, he would have recovered immediately. But he didn't. It just lost his way a bit. He needed to freshen up. So
He
I
didn't
think
really
it's
get
really
injury though, Kuba. He didn't get stuck into tackles. There was more to it than just him not.
that was never his role, though. You always used to have the generally speaking, on a great sort of pincer movement, if you like. You get the two players coming in to force the opposition player to pass it backwards, where Eriksen would be standing in the way of that easy pass backwards. His role there was to pick up the loose ball after we won it back. He didn't have to tackle. It just simply wasn't his role. He was to instigate the instant counter attack. I never saw him as somebody that had to tackle. It just simply wasn't part of his job. But maybe I'm wrong. Perhaps somebody else has got some inside knowledge on that. I'm not aware of. But that's the way I've always seen it with him. It's a common tactic. You want your most creative player as that forward point to pick up the loose ball.
Okay.
Anyway, same with Kane. When Kane isn't getting stuck in and people say, oh, he's not doing anything, he's not tracking back. He's not supposed to. He's supposed to be hold in that position to receive the ball instantly. It's a difficult one to pick out sometimes when it's going well, because we as fans, we always, pick nits out of things and, have a good moan at it when it's going badly, but that's natural, isn't it?
Yep.
As for Brentford, he's going to come back, ex-player. Even at amateur level, you want to put one over on the team that you used to play for. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. So if anything, he's probably going to have his game of the season against us. We'll just have to deal with that one.
I really hope he's got eyes on a bigger prize and that he knows that he's welcome back. I can't find, for the life of me, I had it earlier, I can't find the recent commentary from Conte in his pre-match press conference about how well he's doing, etc. And it all sounded like the news is that he wants him back at Tottenham next season. Why would Eriksen put in the game of his life if it means that Tottenham do want him back, but then because of his performance, we don't finish in the Champions League?
It wouldn't be his. Sure, I know what you're saying, but his responsibility is to play for Brentford Football Club right now. If we don't get Champions League backed on this game, like I said earlier, this is down to Burnley, Southampton, Wolves, and all these other games that we've just casually mugged about with and not picked up points where we should have. Like you said, he'll have a good game. So listen, look how influential he's been. He has been so. Yeah, exactly. We'll know from the first corner. When they get a corner, if it hits the first man, you might have a chance. But knowing him, it will be right on someone's head. He's just. Do you know what? I think he's got a new respect for everything in his life right now. It's very someone very close to us, like Bob Spur, has spoken out quite openly about how his time in hospital has changed his outlook on certain things, and rightly so. Well, just imagine what it's done to Christian Eriksen. Literally, you were dead. And then you were told you might not ever be able to play football again, and you couldn't in Italy because of the device you had. But we allow it. So he's back here, and he's playing again. And not only playing, he's playing bloody well. So I think when you look at it, I think that's the bigger incentive for him now, rather than I'm going to put one on my old team and they might not get Champions League. It's holy fuck, I can play football again. I'm going to enjoy every single last minute of it.
He's a professional.
You look at you look at the amount of times over the years when a player's playing against their old team or are threatened with relegation. They might even score the winning goal. They don't celebrate it, but they still do it. Because you don't look at it being one game that's defined the other team's season. It's the whole campaign. So Eriksen's going to be a consummate professional. He's going to do his best. I've got no doubt about it. So in that respect, be worried because he's on form. But in the other respect, I mean, come on, we're Spurs. We should be winning these games. So how
do we go about winning it, Alan, mate? Do we you know, they're 6'2", 6'1.5" on average. They got a fuck ton of like Scandinavian players in their team. You know, they're lanky as hell, solid. Plus, you got to deal with, you know, Tony, who's I think Tony scored, you know, I think a goal every other game for a mid-table team this season, which is phenomenal return. You know, how do we go about this? I'm presuming that we all agree that the likelihood is we're going to set up as a 3-4-3, as we were, apart from maybe, or tell me if you disagree, but maybe Reguilon gets dropped for Sessegnon. Apart from that, you know, is there? Well, first of all, is that the squad that the team list that you want from Tottenham? But also, how do we set up? Like, how do we do it? How do we break down this Brentford team that are going to be, you know, a different threat? They're not going to be strong down the wings, but they are going to be very tall, very aggressive, and they're going to pepper us with long balls all day long. If you're Conte, Alan, what do you tell the team to do differently than Brighton?
Go out there and think you can win rather than not think you can win. Go out there and go for the win, not think you're going to win. Because that's what I thought happened last week. I think we didn't go in for any of the 50-50s. We lost every second ball. We got bullied. We got beaten to everything. At the end of the day, last week looked so unprofessional. I mean, and I'm not taking anything away from Brighton. Brighton played terrific. Yeah. Brighton done everything that they needed to do. They stopped Kane playing. They stopped Sonny playing. I mean, how can we play with two wing backs when both players that were on wing backs ain't even wing backs? They're both fullbacks that we played against Brighton. But no, he's got to go out there. They've got to be professional. They've got to make sure they try and get away, start fast, get behind Brighton, and hopefully nick something. And the one thing they've got to try not to do is give away silly free kicks around the area. Don't give away silly free kicks around the area. You're not giving Eriksen the chance to feed Tony. You know, you just don't need to be giving silly free kicks like pushing it in the back. Get close, but staying back enough to make sure that you ain't touching them. If you touch them and they go over, that you're giving them, you're helping their threat. You're feeding their strengths. We've got to make sure we try and match them physically, and we've got to make sure we try and get to that second ball and not give away silly free kicks.
Okay. Phil, against Brighton, you can make the argument that we were fucked essentially by Bentancur getting an early yellow card, right? He got taken out of the game. He couldn't make any second, third challenges. He couldn't be late on anything. And having him on a yellow card and obviously Kulusevski doing what he did didn't help the situation. Would you rather Kulusevski, would you rather Bentancur and Højbjerg like sit back a little bit in the first half an hour and not do anything crazy and maybe be drawn into a yellow card challenge that then destroys your ability to go in and go hard and be combative in the latter stages of the first half and into the second half? Or would you just, you know, would you want them to just, you know, treat the game as it comes, and if the challenge is there in the first 5 minutes, if it's necessary, if it's risky but it's necessary, do it? You know, the yellow cards, I think, were a massive impact on what allowed us to, or how it affected our ability to be combative in the midfield against Brighton. Are you worried about an early yellow card in the Brentford game tomorrow?
No, I think he's, you know, and I say this a lot, they've got to start with how they want to go on. So if they start in second or third gear, taking it a little bit easy, it's so much harder to make that step up. So if they start on the front foot and are like, I'm not taking any nonsense, you know, I've got to go for it. I've got to, you know, I want to make sure Brentford know what we're all about. And the problem we've got is you have only got the two of them, because when you're looking on the bench, you know, he's not seriously considering, well, maybe, you know, if you get a yellow, I'll bring Winksy on, because it's not really a feasible option. So Bentancur and Højbjerg, they've got to go for it. They've got to be there. They've got to be solid. You know, I'm kind of obviously looking at, you know, obviously our weakest position has got to be Emerson at right back. I'm wondering if he might switch it around and possibly put Sessegnon over there.
So you would keep Reguilon on the left. Oh, well, this is an interesting segue because that was kind of one of the questions I had. Like, what do we do with the wing backs, right? Emerson was absolutely woeful on the right. Reguilon was woeful on the left against Brighton, but they were up against two of the best. Like, there's very few teams in the Premier League that have as good wings as Brighton do, apart unless you look into the Chelseas or the Liverpools or the Cities. So, Brighton arguably have probably got the fourth or fifth best wide players as a team. Brentford don't, right? So do you think that Emerson Royale can have a better game, or do you just think he's just not cut out for the kind of role of a wing back? He doesn't seem to want to make the runs from deep. What's your thoughts on that?
I just, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt at the start of the season, but he's just so far off the pace. If he was playing now for another club and we'd watched him all season, would anyone in Tottenham be thinking, do you know what, that Emerson, let's maybe go for him? He's just so far off it. And unfortunately, obviously with the Doherty situation, you have no choice. So maybe the other alternative is to do that. I know we I kind of look at it and think maybe Bergwijn, but it's too far removed in the important part of the season.
It's an experiment, isn't it? Playing him at right wing back would be such an experiment at this stage.
Yeah,
I'm up for it. That's how little faith I have in Emerson. But I'm up for it. But I don't know if Conte would take that risk.
No, and I don't know whether maybe more at that point might be the better option. But what you have got is you've got one of our wing backs played wing back all last season at Hoffenheim, which is Sessegnon, and he's obviously got a lot of time for Sessegnon. He clearly likes him. I just think last weekend he wasn't fit enough. But
yeah,
I think Sessegnon will be a better option for Conte. He's more a Conte player than possibly Reguilon. But for Emerson, he's so far off it. And the problem it gives is everyone else just goes, we can have the ball down that side. I mean, for me, the way we beat Brentford, it's get the ball on the deck, be fast, be quick, be clinical. And, it's that way. You can't do the long balls. You can't do the hoofing it up. But as Alan said, you've got to be so mindful when you're at the back of not to concede any opportunities. So throw-ins, corners, anything like that, you've just got to be absolutely on their game. And hopefully with a week of preparation, that will be there, coupled with let's get over the Brighton one by winning this game. But it's no easy game tomorrow, not by any stretch. But we should have the quality to do it.
Thanks, mate. Dermot, you still there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Dermot, what if you were Conte? How do you set up the wing backs? The conundrum that we have. It's amazing that we, 2 months ago we were wincing at the idea of Doherty being in the team. Now we're wincing at the idea of not having him. It's amazing what a couple of weeks or a month or two can do to change the appetite for an opinion. If you're him, what are your thoughts on Emerson? Do you, he was that bad, or unless you think differently, but I thought, he was that bad against Brighton. There was that much space behind, but he was so reluctant to make the jig behind. Do you put Sessegnon inverted right wing back, and then keep Reguilon? Do you put Reguilon at inverted right wing back and keep Sessegnon on the left, or do you stick with Emerson, or do you twist and put Bergwijn or Lucas Moura? What do you do? What do you do with it?
I wouldn't stick with Emerson because I'm not Emerson's biggest fan. Honestly, I think he's the only Brazilian that can't play football. And I've said that for a very long time now. What would you do? I mean, you could put Segi there and play him as right back. But I think what Phil said, I think I put Moura there. What lose?
You put Moura on, would you?
Yeah. I if you were going to put Segi there, put Segi on the left and put Moura on the right. I wouldn't put Bergwijn there, but I would put Moura there. And see what happens, because you can't trust Emerson. He just can't play. He just can't defend. You could put Segi there like we did with Doherty. Yeah, it worked. And I felt for Doherty because he was getting into a bit of form and he was playing well till he got butchered by the player. So yeah, I would try Segi there, and if it's not happy, try more in that right wing back and get one in. Because Emma's putting them there, we're going to be so weak. Right hand side is going to be unreal. It was the same when we were so weak down the right hand side, and it's just you can. I'd rather him not play and sell him in the summer, get rid of him, and then just that will do a job. He needs to defend. We need players who will defend. He can't defend. He can't attack. It's just pointless putting them on. And so I put Segi there, or as Phil said, put Moura on the right hand side. And I think that's the way to go through the summer at least.
All right, fair enough. Anyone else want to counter that? Anyone else got a better Brian? Al?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, for me, so I'm a big fan of Sessignon, a big fan of him, and I want to see him play. Now, is it on the left or the right? Now, if he's going to play him, I hope he does it on the right, because I wouldn't say I can't stand it. I'm just not. He's done nothing to prove it. He's done a couple of decent, okay games. And whenever he has a decent, okay game, we're all like, oh my God, Emerson played well, because that's the standard he kind of can't get to. I disagree with entirely with putting Lucas Moura there instead of Bergwijn, because Bergwijn's already played that position for Jose. So at least he's got a bit of experience for it. So at least he knows the role. But if he has to, Reguilon for me is stronger than Sessignon, stronger than Emerson, but that isn't exactly hard right now, let's face it. So Sessignon on the right, he knows the position. It allows him to cut in on his left. So I'd like to see him there. I'd like to see it. It may not work, but it can't be worse than Emerson, and it will actually add the attacking thing. So I keep using the thing that Alistair Gold said, and when he said it in his video, and it rang so true with me. When Emerson crosses a football, the greatest thing we can hope for is a corner.
It is. It's true.
And if you look at it, I was like, do you know what? He's so true. He either goes out of play, gets cleared, or whatever. So the greatest outcome of an Emerson cross, he's had 1 assist in 38 games, 3 of them being for Barcelona. And that's where Conte wants his creativity to come from. So the fact we got one that simply cannot create is like, you can't do it. You can't do it. And the one thing I will say in Emerson's favour, the one thing I will say to him is, again, as we said, Sean, when you were saying about if Conte went and another manager came in, he was bought by Nuno to play as a right back, not as a right wing back. Now, who knows at a right back what he may be capable of and what he could do.
So on that basis then, Brian, is there any legitimacy to the idea that we go back to a back four?
It's going to sound far out, but I'll say the only way I feel we can go for a back four is if we were to play 5 in the middle or 3 in the middle and push Dyer up. But because Dyer, for me, his best season for us was a defensive midfielder under that seatbelt season under Poch. That's where I thought he was. Yes, he's got older a bit and defence may suit him, but he can move up there. But then it means Romero played in a back 2 with someone, and I will not trust that person that he plays in the 2 with, whoever it may be.
Yeah.
So again, it comes down to he hasn't got the play. You know when we were saying before, and I said he hasn't got the players to try new. This is where I would love to see it if that's what he wanted to do. If he could get, so I also think Reguilon's a better left back compared to a left wing back.
Same.
He was bought as a left back. Yeah. So if you played them 2 in their right positions and can find a defensive partner for Romero next season, that's a variation he could do. But right now, we know it's not going to happen. We've all said it on the shows. Oh, why is he doing this? We haven't got the players. But then we went on that run because the players got what he was saying. So going to a back 4, I would push Dyer up if need be to make 3 in midfield. But then, like I said, I wouldn't trust whoever Romero's played against. So I would stick with what we got.
What about this Lavenier fella? I didn't know anything about him. I know you're a bit more familiar with some of these youth guys coming through.
Yeah.
This kid that was on the bench, has he got anything about him? Or is he, you know, do you know much about this guy? I'd never heard of him before, Brighton, to be honest.
He's very, very good. He's very, very good. But the thing with that is, do you say to him, right, you're going to have your Spurs chance now when Champions League football is clinging, like we are clinging on
the
to it
line.
at the moment? And like, Joe, there's got to be a right time to bring, like, people like, I'm not saying him, or like Wayne Rooney and all these other youngsters that come through, they come in when their managers think, right, now it's your chance. Now it's your time. Show me what you got. Not saying they're all going to get to the Rooney level, but you can't just go, right, listen, Champions League is hanging by a thread. Or not by a thread, but you know what I mean. It's not completely ours.
It's delicate.
That's a good word, delicate. We don't know how it's going to go. We need really strong performances. Now it's your chance. There's too much to put on that young kid at one start. He will be a player for us. He will be a very good player for us. But I don't think chucking him in
He's
right
21
now.
though, right? He's 21. By 21, you should be up for a first team appearance, shouldn't you? Otherwise, what's the point?
Oh no, you should be up for it. But do you say right? What's Champions League is delicate? That's the thing. If it was start of the season, and it was like, right, you're going to play a few games now or halfway through, yeah, fine. Completely love to see youngsters come on. You got to remember that he did that with Tanganga against Liverpool. He did that with Ledley King. He's done, or not he, but we have done it. But there's been the right time to do it. I just don't think now, with the way that we are, is the right time to do it. Can you imagine if we lose and don't get Champions League and Lavinia is the right back for the last few games, people will start going, oh God, why did you put him at right back? He should have left Everton.
Yeah.
So it's not worth damaging his future or his confidence just because. Exactly.
It's a lose-lose, isn't it? Massive.
It's cutting your nose off to spite your face.
Okay. All right. So at this part in the show, right, we can either wrap it up and just get to the predictions, or we can move it on to like, how do we, what sort of signings do we want to see? Do we want? Someone was saying in the comments here, where is he? Let's be honest. Stephen Cartwright was saying, let's be honest, lads, all of our wing backs are crap. I completely agree. Right, personally, you know, when we see the idea touted around that we need 6 signings, I'd argue that we could make there's a case to be made where we could replace all 4. I'll come to Alan. Are you still there, mate?
I think he said he was dropping out for 5 to 10.
Oh, okay. Oh, was he? So he's in the private chat, is it? Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, let's come to. Sorry, Dermot.
I'm gonna have to pop off because my Wi-Fi is in and out, and I'm doing this on my phone. It's cutting in and out, so I'm going to have to sort that out. But can I just say it's a pleasure being on with all legends of YouTube. I have to say it's lovely being on with you, Brian, Coover, and Phil. It's just like going back to the old days, chilling out and relaxing. That's what I love.
The band is back together, Dermot.
It's like the good old days, and it is nice going on. I love going on like this and other channels just as a guest, because it's just like going back to the old days. It's enjoyable. And I'll tell you one thing, and being on with Brian and Alan as well, 2 legends of YouTube. What more can you ask for? As well as yourself, Sean.
Yeah,
so,
thanks,
thank you.
mate. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Before you go, I've just put your link in the chat again. Tell everyone where they can find you and what's coming up on Tottenham Tantrum Gold.
Tottenham Tantrum Gold is going back to its roots. We're going to go back to show the old games again, and we're going to start at the beginning, and we're going to tell the history of Tottenham Hotspur. We're going to do Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to still do them, but we're going at 12, not 1. And Bobby's going to do a little bit for half an hour, and then me and Mark are going to show again. But we're going to start at the back, and then Izan's got his show that we're doing coming through as well on a Friday night and Sunday post-match show this week for the Brentford game. So, yeah, we're going back to our roots on the channel and just showing the glory days and the great games, the 80s, 70s, 60s. And all thanks to Duck Jive 1. Please get over to him because he's got so many great old Tottenham games on there. And England internationals as well. So we'll be throwing some of them in and, you know, just going back to the good old days when when we were winning things and when we were successful, which we will be again. So don't doubt the good days are coming back.
100%. And don't also, guys, if you haven't already seen Tottenham Tantrum Gold, don't forget, unless I'm mistaken, Tottenham Tantrum Gold were the first channel to have, of the community that, at least since I've been a part of it, to have Steve Perryman on. A lot of other channels have got Steve Perryman on subsequently, and Steve Perryman's been around the block a little bit, but I'm pretty sure Tottenham Tantrum Gold, at least since I've been a part of the community, were the first ones to reach out to that man, to that legend, that hero, and to have him on their channel. So they were groundbreakers in that regard, in my mind, and I'm a massive fan of your channel. So sorry, Derma. Yeah, I was about to.
I just want
to carry on. Go
up to Phil, because Phil did a lot of the legwork for that. It's the first time he was on, and Phil, he's big up, and he's done the intro for our channel, which is brilliant, and I love it. So big up to Phil and Coover as well, because they're all there in the background for a bit of advice, and they do help out. So big up to them too. You know, they're as part of TTG as I am. And all this will be part of TDG, because if it wasn't for them two, my channel never would have got off the ground on my own. So I've got an awful lot of thankfulness and respect. And Brian and Alan, who pops on, for everyone that comes on to the channel. But these two lads deserve a little bit extra thank you, because they were there at the beginning. And I can't thank them enough for everything they do and still do for the channel privately behind the background. So big up to them too.
Thanks, Dermot, mate. Appreciate you coming on. Big up Phil and Kuba for all they've done for the channel. But guys, if in the chat, if you haven't already, there's 65 of you that are currently watching this. If you haven't already hit and seen TTG, the link's in the chat. Smash the little the link there. It will take you to a new tab, and then you can just hit the subscribe button, and then we can continue with the show. Dermot, I love you, man. I hope you feel better soon, and I'll call you later. I'll call you after the show. Okay.
All right. Speak to you later. Thank you. God bless you all. And please hit the subscribe button on this channel. We don't like red. We like blue and white. We don't like red. So hit that red subscription button on all these channels, because we don't like red. The win tomorrow. Good night. God bless.
What's your prediction? What's your scoreline prediction, Dermo?
4-0.
Fucking hell.
I don't think we'll lose 4-0, but
Cooper, you're on mute, mate. Cooper's been on mute for a while.
I was going to say, to which team? Yeah, I think Phil beat me to it there. It's like one of Dermot's picks with the classic matches. So why do we always end up losing those ones?
Cheers, Dermot. Have a good evening, mate. See you soon.
I can't break that, but anyway, thank you very much. See you later.
See you, buddy.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, guys. Where were we? The wing-back situation, right? Where do we need replacements? Who do we need to come in? Who are your top picks? Let's start with the wing backs, right? Do we need a left wing back? Alan, to you first.
I'd like to hope that Sessegnon can go for a season without carrying all the knocks. I would love it, because I'm not being funny. Don't get me wrong, I don't watch a lot of European football. In actual fact, I'll be honest, the only time I might watch it would be a European game on TV. So I wouldn't know, and I don't see that many great left backs in the Premier League. Possibly the only two, and I hate saying it, is Robertson and the one that plays for them up the road. They're the two best left backs I've noticed.
Would you take Cucurella from Brighton?
Oh, sorry, yeah, I apologise. Yeah, Cucurella, I do like him actually.
I love him. I think he's so good.
Yeah, and he's got a bit. And to be honest with you, I think it showed on Saturday what he'd done to Kulusevski.
Yeah.
Really took Kulusevski out of the game for the rest of the game. You know, so like he niggled at him. He got that reaction. And you know, at the end of the day, it took Kulu out of the game really, because Kulu likes a bit of physicality. Once he made that swing with his elbow, he couldn't afford to do any more silly little tackles.
He should have been sent off for that, shouldn't he?
Yeah, I think he should have done. To be honest with you, I thought he should have gone. When I see it, I thought he should have gone. On the right back, we've got to get rid of Royale. As I say, I actually stood behind him when we were playing 4 at the back earlier on in the season, because I thought he was doing a good defensive side of things. He had, he was having block stats that done him well, but he is not a wing back. You know what I mean? When you can go to a team as bad as Watford were, and they allowed him to have the ball every single time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, my argument there was also that we didn't get enough bodies in the area for him to cross to anyway. But no, I mean, I like that Jed Spence, but apparently there's rumours saying that he's got a bit of an attitude problem. So
yeah, I've heard that as well. Phil, what are your thoughts, mate? Do we need to replace a left back? Do we need to get rid of one? Like, are we worried about the injury proneness of Sessegnon? I love Sessegnon. I'm not as big a fan of Reguilon, but like both of them have got injury issues. You know, both of them aren't really setting things alight even when they're fit. Do you want to replace one, both? What about the right backs? Do you want to or right wing backs? Do you want to replace one or both? Like, how do we go about this? Because if we're going to play 3-4-3, if Conte does stay, we need to be excellent in that area, in that department. And at the best of times, we are average or subpar. What would you do?
I guess you've got to look at some budget constraints. You know, if it was, if we were Newcastle, I genuinely would be 3, maybe 4 of them you'd upgrade. But we're not in that place. And if we are going to spend a lot of money, you want to filter it everywhere. So I would probably be going Emerson. He needs an upgrade. I think if you could sell Reguilon, you'll get more money. And then you've just got to deal with Sessegnon's fitness, because he's going through kind of the Bale stage, isn't he? If you remember when Bale was very early on in his Tottenham career, he literally would get injured all the time. And I remember seeing something with Harry Redknapp where he kind of went down in training. They were all about to rush over to him. And he's like, no, leave him, let him fight through it. And he just became a better, tougher player. But obviously we don't know. There's obviously something going on with his medical side. But if he's not going to be able to compete, for a whole season, then he's not worth it. He just isn't worth it. And then, like you say, your centre back, we probably do need 2, maybe 3 there. But again, if you're talking 40, 50 at each time, maybe one's what you need for now. If you could do 1 in each of those 3 positions, 2 in the middle, and then 1 up front, that's a better. If he was told he could have 6 players, you could do 6 in defence, but it doesn't help you elsewhere, does it? And I think it's, but it is. You could do.
I take your point.
4 backs. He's got to balance. He's got to really balance it out and go, what's going to take us up? What's going to move us to the next level of being able to be competitive? And we're at it now. We've already talked tonight about what happens if Bentancur or what happens if Højbjerg gets injured. If the replacement is Skip, there is a point that you could be thinking, well, maybe you move Dyer into one of them and you bring one of the others back in. But again, he obviously clearly doesn't trust the rest of the centre backs to be able to replace Dyer in there. So he's juggling with fire and not getting too far. So he desperately needs a good mix right across.
So the left wing back spot is like. If we had discretionary spend, if the budget was limitless, of course you go there. But right now there's 3 or 4 different positions that require far more attention than left wing at the moment. Yeah.
Centre back, midfield, striker, right back. Unfortunately, at this point are a greater need than the 2 at left back or left wing back.
Kuva, how much money would you spend if you had 120 million quid, right? 120 million quid, and that was the budget, net of everything else, net of money we already own, net of money that we're going to get in for other players. 120 million quid. How much money goes to a right wing back? Do you go and spend 15, 20 on a Jed Spence, or do you go and spend 40, 45 on like the best in class?
Oh, with that kind of money, I mean, Hollywood Phil and I had talked about this before. Hell with the team. We're just off to Vegas and blow it in a weekend.
Party time.
Who cares after that?
Can I join you?
Yeah, there's enough money to go around.
Boys, I'll let you continue the conversation, Kuva. I'm busting for a wee, mate. Give me 2 seconds.
No
Carry on.
Yeah, for 120 million. You never know how much it's going to cost. That's the trouble, isn't it? we can pick up some absolute bargains that will fit the team and only spend 30 million. Or we could go and blow it all on 2 players. I mean, depends what you want to do. I mean, I think sensibly looking at it, if the budget is as low as 120 million, I'd say, first of all, we really need more than that. If we're looking to compete for the league, we've got to get more than that. We need some serious quality in some positions, and they're going to cost a minimum of 40 million, aren't they? So we will be looking at a sort of compromise where, like the Kulusevski deal, like the Bentancur deal, get some good, solid players that improve the team, but get them in the key positions we need. Definitely going to need a couple of wing backs. I think we'll need a couple of centre backs, reserve goalkeeper. Well, no, Alfie Whiteman, I think, is a perfectly good backup for Hugo at the moment. Hugo's got a couple of years left in easy. If we can find a top quality keeper right now, even better. But they aren't always available. Other than that, I want to see an absolute destroyer in midfield. Proper Wanyama in his peak, or a Sandro at his peak, or even a Scotty Parker, because he was a powerful man when he was playing for us. Really putting a hot crunching tackle on the opposition, and he could play a bit. We could do with an extra one like that. It's going to help develop Skip's game. It's going to help solidify that midfield, get control of matches where we've been a bit powder puff at times. If we get somebody like that and they get the defence sorted out, that's the start of it all. Forget this nonsense about backup for Kane, because you can't back him up. He's unique. So you're looking at either a striker. Forget the number 10 as well, because that's not a Conte style way of doing it. So you're either looking at another combative midfielder, or get some attacking, just a forward, somebody that's versatile, a Sonny type. He can play anywhere across the front. He can play up front by himself if he needs to. Sonny can do that and has done that before, so it shows it can work. But if we're looking at having somebody sat on the bench again, the best we were ever going to do was the likes of Llorente. He did very well for us doing that.
Yeah, unless you get a Bale or someone, right?
Well, again, would you have Bale up front by himself? I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't.
I mean, I'm only going by what I've heard, Sean. I've only gone by what I heard, but apparently Conte doesn't want Bale. Eriksen he would take, but he doesn't want Bale.
And that's fine. Whatever Conte wants, I'm happy to support him on it. But for me, it's just one of the... I have this conversation quite a lot on various channels, and that is, if you're looking for someone like all the news that's been touted around, Lautaro Martinez, Dybala, Depay, all of those kind of caliber of names that are going to cost you 30, 40 million, plus they're going to cost you 200 grand a week, plus they come with egos and game time demands. And how are they going to fit into a 3-4-3 that's natural, with that can also demand that they get 50% of game time? Are they going to be happy to do it? The only name that I think that is good enough, where when Harry Kane does want a break, that the guy that can come in is better than a Vinicius, where you kind of go, oh, fuck, are we really dropping down to that level? But also where someone is happy to be on the bench. There's very few of those players that are going to keep the caliber of player fairly high. Obviously not as high as Harry Kane, but not too much of a standard deviation away from him, but also someone that's happy to be on the bench when he's not playing. Gareth Bale for me is the perfect, because he is quality, but he's also someone that doesn't give a fuck. He's more than happy to be on the bench laughing, and then when he comes on, he's got that magic in his boots still. Brian, what are your thoughts, mate? Are you let me ask you this question, actually. Well, you can take the Gareth Bale thing, but if you, whatever your money is, 150 million, whatever you demand that Daniel Levy gives you to stop you sharpening those knives, how much money, what percentage of that money needs to go to a striker? Is it if you have 150 million, do we split it 8 ways equally and go 20 million on 8 players or 7 players? That's good enough to improve everywhere? Or do you take 50 million of it and go after a fantastic striker? Or do you take 50 million and go after a defender or a right wing back? Where do you focus the bulk of the money?
Okay, so let me just say, If I was in the room with Daniel Levy, believe me, money would be the last thing on my mind.
And assault charge would be more likely.
Yeah, that's the only paperwork I'd be talking about. Yeah, something like that. But
Levy would need it for medical repairs.
Yeah, but literally, it comes down to now. What I will say before I talk about the seriousness is, you watch those players you mentioned, the Depays, the this, the that, like this. Once the season ticket deadline expires, woof, disappear, just like magic. That's what will happen.
How did you do that?
Oh, mate,
Magic.
It's
magic.
It's like these rumours that aren't going to ever come true, but we leak
Ryan,
or report. Yeah,
just sorry, mate. I'm so sorry. I have to do. I went for a wee and I came back and forgot my manners. I've added Mark to the show. I'm still going to come back to you for your answer. I just feel so bad to have invited him into the channel and not even recognised or acknowledged his inclusion. Mark, thank you for joining. How are you, my friend? Are you good? I'm so sorry, my friend. That's so rude of me.
No, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. I did see Dermot left, and so I'm his substitute appearance.
No, that's great. And I'm going to come to you next for your opinion. I just wanted to say hello.
Yes,
I just wanted to say hello and thanks for stopping by. And now I'll go back to Brian for his answer. Sorry to interrupt you, Brian. I just had manners.
Yeah, no, mate, this is your party and you'll interrupt when you want to. It's that simple. But yeah, do you know what it comes down to? It comes down to when you talk about the right backs. I'm talking the right back specifically. That was beautifully sang, so I'm not going to bring you up on anything there. Copyright strike. But yes, so the right back specifically, we have to correct this. We have not corrected it since Kyle Walker. We spent over the 50 million we got for him trying to get it. So when it comes to this, getting the right back right, we need to get this right. I don't really care how much we spend on a right back. It looks like it's going to be that Spence, or could be. Now he's looked very, very promising.
Coming over Cole, be on TV.
So it comes to that, then so be it. But it's got to be the right player. Emerson's got to go.
Who is that right player for you, mate?
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah. But do you know what? You can't knock that. That would be the best signing you could possibly make.
Never going to happen, is it?
No.
You know?
Honestly, do you know what? I sometimes play this game with my friend where we go through at certain times of the season and go through every single team and say, if you could sign one player from that team to benefit your team right now, who'd it be? And Trent Alexander-Arnold is always my first answer for us. I think he's absolutely sensational. Obviously, I know there's absolutely not a catch chance in hell that he's coming. But look we were linked with Andy Robertson.
Do you think there's any chance you could sign Mo Salah after the news today saying it's not about money, but I'm not going to sign this contract. There's more to life than money and blah blah. Do you think there's any chance that Tottenham could go and be some audacious?
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know when Arsene Wenger quoted 40 million and £1 for Suarez, he'll do it with whatever much and a penny. So you can forget that happening ever. Ever.
All right. So who's the right wing back? Come on. This is the most important position to fill this summer. For me, like we're okay. Like centre backs, we need to improve, of course. Dumfries. Okay, great. So who said that? Phil said that, right? Dumfries. Yeah, 20 million we can get him for, right?
Yeah, I'd go with Phil that, because I've got to say, I mean, I watch a lot of Premier League football, and I used to watch a lot of football around the world here, or always. But since I got married and all the time football's going on, obviously I need to see my wife at some point. It's how I get allowed to go back to England for 3 months at a time, because I bore her so much. She's like, fuck off, go. So when it comes to, I know a lot about Dumfries. Dumfries would be brilliant. But whatever, if it's this Spence and Conte has earmarked him and said, Conte has said, I want Spence, then that's who I want.
Yeah.
I think Doherty will be fine because we saw what he was doing. Don't get me wrong, we need to upgrade on him. But like you said, do you remember when Man City had that summer where they spent when they bought Walker? They also bought Mendy, who we won't talk about, but they went and splashed obscene amounts of money on those two because they can. We can't. Or we can technically spend a lot of money, we just won't. And we certainly won't go to Man City levels. So if it's this Spence, fair play. If it's Dumfries, fair play. I want listen. I said it all. I want James Ward-Prowse. I want James Ward bloody Prowse at Tottenham Hotspur.
Well,
I think I think he is such a good player, not just because of his obvious things that he's brilliant at, but I think he is just a good all-round midfielder. And with any of our other midfielders, I think he'd be brilliant with. We definitely need, again, I'd get rid of Reguilon, or I hope Reguilon goes. And I think with Sessegnon and these niggly injuries, you got to remember, when Conte had Lukaku at Inter, when they're trying to work out his injuries, they established that, wait a minute, it's not this, it's your diet. Let's change your diet. And then he had the season that he did. And hopefully his medical team could kind of do the same with Sessegnon. Identify the problem, sort it out, and get it fixed. And if they can, we've got a hell of a player there. So I think Doherty stays not because he's been brilliant, but he knows that position well, but we need a better one. And then also we definitely need one left back. So that's two of the positions gone. And then I say we need a left centre back to help Davies, because Davies has had a very good season for us. Cannot do it all season long. Cannot. And is not the standard of what we want. Then we need a James Ward-Prowse, and then we need someone up top.
Yep. Okay. Interesting. Before we go any further, before I ring Mark in for his opinion, guys, we're at the 2-hour mark. We've just past the 2-hour mark. And as always on this channel, on the hour mark, we spend a little second or two just to show some gratitude to everyone that's been on the channel. And so all of the links of Tottenham on Tour, of Shellside Spurs, of Eugene's channel, Spurs Suasion, and Ben's channel, The Coffee Company, and also Tottenham Tantrum Gold. All of those are in the link. So if any of you, there's 65 people watching on YouTube, and there's about another 18 people watching on the other social things, I think. If any of you haven't already visited and subscribed to any of those channels, please just hit the link. You can do it now without fear of losing access to this stream. Just hit the link and press the subscribe button. It's free. It's free, and it shows the love to everybody else because they're all spending their time and sacrificing their Friday night talking to me and talking to us. So if you haven't already, please show them some love and support. Brian, I love that, mate. I love it. Did you say you had to go, Brian, or did you say you still got time? Or
are you kicking me off? Bloody hell!
No. I thought you said that your wife was giving you the EGBGs or something.
No, I said when I was watching loads of football, like against all the other leagues.
Oh, okay.
Remember the time difference? It was like, I'm watching this, and I spend no time with my wife. Yeah, no, my wife's at work. I'm good now. I'm good.
We're gonna do some impromptu would you rather's and
then I'm definitely not going. Even if I had to.
I've not even done this before.
If we had to, we're staying. We're up.
Yeah, I've never played this before. What's it like?
No.
Connie's.
You'll see.
Can I add one sentence onto the end of what Brian said about James Ward-Prowse?
Yeah, please.
If we got him, it would also enable Kane to play further forward because James Ward-Prowse can pick those passes as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, I know how respectful you are, like waiting for the person who's speaking to stop speaking and then for me to interrupt and then go to the next person. But on other channels that have got so many people, like it's just a round table where everyone can jump in and join in. So I'd much rather, if you have something to say, just jump in and continue the conversation.
Anyway, so we ignore him.
Yeah.
Ignore him. Let's get
ignore him.
Do you mean me or Sean?
Wait a minute, I've got to get that's it. I got it right this time. I would never ignore you, Kuva.
Oh, is that right? Is it, Alan? Fucking hell, bro.
Not that I want to set Brian going, but if we are after a midfielder, will he go for Eriksen as a cheaper option than Ward-Prowse? Even though Ward-Prowse is probably a longer term solution.
Yeah, because of silly tax prices
that
they're put on. I mean, don't get me wrong. Southampton he's only just signed a new contract, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So
you've got to be talking 60 to 80 for him, whereas Eriksen, he's free.
We're talking about Levy here, aren't we, mate? You know, if we were talking about the Liverpool owners or someone, I know, Brian, you're still shocked that I'm in this mode. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, you were talking about Levy here. He don't like paying tax, let alone the British.
You don't like paying.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
There's not a stream that goes by us without someone having to say the bunny
Allegedly.
Mate, I'll tell you something. I've gone from on the fence to wanting to be behind Brian in the terms I can't walk to smack him in the chops because the geezers are usually.
If we're talking Levy, he's probably on the phone to MK Dons asking again if they got anybody else.
Right, lads. Yeah. I get a little bit of information occasionally. Yeah, I was told that we were looking at getting 4 players in: a goalkeeper, a centre back, a right wing back, right wing back, and a central attacking midfielder. That's what I was told. That's
any names?
No names were mentioned. Right,
No.
We were looking at 4 players bringing in. And that was before they decided they were going to bring this new rule in about having 5 on the bench. Now, I'm not being funny. You looked at our bench on Sunday, and it's one of the weakest in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's awful.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah. Certainly in the position that we're...
What we're going to do when we got to put an extra 2 bodies on there, because it's not a matter of filling them 7 base spaces, because you're now going to have 9 spaces on the bench.
Yeah. And you can make the 5 subs exactly. So, Mark, welcome to the stream, my friend.
Hello. How are we?
Good, mate. You've been so patient. And
no, that's all right.
Like I say, from now on, I want everyone to feel the ability just to chime in because I've done a terrible job today, and so yeah, just chime in as a round table. But Mark, I want to hear your thoughts, mate, on you came on when the conversation was about the wing-back situation.
Yes.
Who do we replace? Is it a priority? Where do we put the money? If you had 150 million quid, or 120 million quid net of everything else we owe, how much money do you put of that budget into buying a right wing-back? Is Jed Spence good enough at 20 million, or are we just taking more risk with these youngsters with the bad attitudes, etc.? And before I let you go. Before I let you run with it, welcome back, Barry. Welcome back, Barry. And also, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream, Mr. Bobby K. Hello, Bobby K. How are you?
It's Bobby K.
Here we go.
He might be on.
It's Bobby K.
Are we? Sorry, Sean. Sorry to interrupt you, mate. Are we still on your first question that you asked me to ask?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
Fuck you, go. You can go as well. Fuck you.
I'm waiting with vocals next time.
Right,
Mark, you've been waiting so fucking patiently. Go,
that's
mate.
right.
The floor is yours.
That's right.
The floor is yours. Go.
What was the question again?
Mark, if you ask the question, you'll be here another 5 minutes, mate.
Prediction for the Man City game.
What's your team prediction for the Leicester game? That's the question. That's where we are.
Oh, all right. No, it was something to do with the wing backs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was to do with the wing backs. Now, when this conversation comes up on other people's streams, I always put in the comments, what is Stephen Carr up to these days? Because surely he's better.
Yeah.
You know, Stephen Carr was a hell of a right wing back for us. Now, as far as who we get in, whoever Mr. Conte wants. I'm not stealing from Mr. Daigle, but I'm of the same opinion. Whoever he wants. You know, I'm not a scout, I'm not a manager. So whoever he wants, basically. You know,
sorry guys, I don't know if I can hear you. I gotta jump back in and out. The stupid thing's not connecting.
Oh,
okay, mate.
But
I'll get rid of Barry whilst we're there as well. Fuck him.
Oh, all right.
Mate, you're going to over another bacon and egg sandwich the way you're going.
Yeah, the first one. Sorry, I didn't realise you were going to the North London derby. Maybe you're not anymore. Anyone want a ticket for the North London derby? Because Sean's is going.
Yeah. Mark,
you're not going.
No, of course I'm going. Of course I'm
Not
going.
Oh,
Bobby
He
bloody hell.
was going until he decided to kick me out of the room again.
I'm not sure you can you retract gifted tickets? I don't think you can you?
I can contact the ticket office and I can tell them that my email was hacked and I did not mean to. Someone forwarded on the ticket, and yeah, you know.
Okay.
No, I'm only joking, Sean.
Welcome back, Barry. Welcome back.
I'm dreading this North London derby because he's going to crucify me.
Wait, Mark.
Alan?
I mean, Mark. Finish. Go, bro. You've been waiting so patiently.
I
think I said. I think I
Did you
said.
say you finished?
No.
The whole thing's falling apart now.
Yeah. Whoever Antonio wants, get them.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if it costs 50p or 50 million. Whoever he's identified. That's it.
All right. Okay. Thank
I've
you.
had my 2 seconds. That's it now.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Appreciate that. Barry Jit.
Yes, sir.
What do we do? Right, 120 million net spend. Do we go after? How much money do you put towards wing backs?
How about shrimp for dinner?
Look, I think we need a right and a left wing back and a left centre back and an attacking midfielder. So that's the 4 that Alan was probably talking about. I mean, we also probably need a goalie as well. So 120 million is not going to get much change out. For me, I think we need to be careful in terms of what we in terms of what we go after. For me, look, I've said it before, and I wouldn't be adverse to it. I know some people would be, but for 25 million, we can get Bale, Eriksen, and Tielemans in, and those 3 players immediately improve our squad.
Wow!
So for
25 million.
Yeah. So Bale and Eriksen are obviously on freeze, and 25 million for Tielemans because he's in the last year of his contract. So for me, those 3 players come in, potentially solves, you know, that you've got match winners, you've got people that can come off the bench and change games, and it fills that attacking bit. You then have
That's fucking insane. That's such a great answer. Jesus. That's given me a little bit of a semi on, if I'm honest.
Thanks. So then that leaves, I guess, that leaves 105 million to split across the back. The 3 players in the back that we need: a left centre back, right wing back,
and you can get. Someone said earlier you can get De Vrij for
16, Dumfries for 30 is what they're reporting today. So that's 50 for those 2. That still gives you another 45 for somewhere else.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that.
So, I mean,
we might even be able to give Daniel Levy some money back.
No. No. So look, yeah, if you do that, like
That's
what
insane.
Phil said, if you do that, you've got those. You know, you're playing for 3, you're getting in 5, and then you've got the potential to get another one in. That's 6. You know, and then you look at. I mean, I don't know how much.
And you get the reserve goalkeeper for free. What's his name? The guy from West Brom.
Johnson.
Sam Johnston. He's another freebie. Even though freebie is not freebie, I always want to stand up for this. Like 70%, 65-70% traditionally of whatever the cost of a player would have been with a transfer fee is usually still baked in to the free transfers because of agents' fees, additional wages, additional performance bonuses, all that crap, right? So it's not quite as like free as you think it is. You end up paying. You just don't pay the club. You end up paying the player and the player's representatives. But if you could get Johnston, De Vrij, Dumfries, Bale, Eriksen, and Tielemans for 80 million.
That's what I mean.
But I forgot about Tielemans. Tielemans I'll take all goddamn day. We should have got him. Funny theme about that. Should have got him when we first went for him. Yeah. But we have to do wait till he plays a few years, gets a bit older, and then we'll get him. I'm trying to stay away from that conversation. Let's
same as Dumfries last summer, isn't it? 15 million he went last summer. Now we've got to pay double, but he's still going to be worth it. So
yeah, but he's got a year more experience. He's got a year more, like a year less risk. You know, sometimes I understand you can always make that argument with the benefit of hindsight. But look at the argument that. Not to start an argument with Brian or a debate with Brian, but the Levy out debate has always been, you know, Daniel Levy fucked up on Grealish and he fucked up on Bruno Fernandes. And if you look at Bruno Fernandes right now over this season, you wouldn't think very highly of him, right? If you look at Jack Grealish, you could make the argument that Jack Grealish is the new Dele Alli. £100 million wasted on a player that's full of hot air and cares more about his hair and playing Fortnite like a Dele Alli does. And Bruno Fernandes has become a fucking disgrace at Manchester United.
What you got to say with that is, first of all, agree with you with Fernandes. Fernandes right now, his attitude, but let's look at what he's dealing with at Manchester United. When that guy is switched on and playing, there'll be very few.
But then you said something about Dele Alli, right? Dele Alli, when he's
with Jack Grealish under a Pochettino or playing regularly under a Conte, might have been better. You can't judge it because that player didn't work out. It didn't do well. He turned down with Glenn Hoddle's days Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o turned out to be a very, very good. I could give you a list of players who've missed out.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, if people that are not that I'm leaving in, but the people that are on the leaving out conversation constantly reference to coulda, woulda, shouldas about players that we could have signed but didn't, and then went on to be great. Now that those players suddenly are on the tail end of that rise and fall, you could argue that maybe it was a good swerve.
I'll tell you right now, Bruno Fernandes under Erik ten Hag, you'll see last season's Manchester. You'll see last year's Bruno Fernandes. Without
I don't know if he'll play as much. I think you'll see more of Donny van der Beek next season than you will of like a Bruno Fernandes.
There's a good shout. There's a good shout for that, but you will see Erik ten Hag. I wish we'd got him when we sat Mourinho. He was my number one. He will do very well there. Listen, Manchester United is a bad example to give right now, not just because of they are a fucking mess. They are completely on the playing side. The players are an absolute fractured mess. So it's very, very hard to say Fernandes. Grealish, I think would have done very, very well at Spurs, especially under Poch. But yeah, I see what you're saying, but that's not all this is about with us.
I know. I'm just dangling it.
Yeah, that's why. As you see, that's why I'm not getting it. This is why I'm being nice and calm. I'm not smashing something over my head again. I'm not screaming and shouting. This is just a very nice, easy.
Ryan, the evolution of you is like the first 2 or 3 times when you were in the coffee shop and you were smashing wood pillars over your head because of something.
No, that was at my parents' house when I had the bloody. When I had the placemats, when you said something, I just started, mate, do you know what? I had the biggest fucking headache after that. I was like, wow. I hit myself so hard with that. I was like forcefully headbutting it. Yeah. I stay calm now. I stay calm, or try to.
Good times. All right, guys. Is there
Sean, I'm going to duck out if that's all right. I need to go and grab some food. So thanks very much. Nice to see everyone. Mate.
I don't know how much longer we're going to stay. I put your. I mean, do you have you haven't got your own channel at the moment? Are you just flirting around doing your thing? Okay, mate.
I'm just in and out of everyone else's. So, but
appreciate you coming on, mate. Love you, man.
I'll catch up with you all soon.
See you later on, Phil.
All right,
mate. I'm staying. Where's the would you rather?
Well, I need you guys to have a conversation and an argument amongst yourselves whilst I create a would you rather in the background. It's very
you didn't have it created? Then if you haven't got it created, don't worry about it. I thought you were ready to rock and roll.
No, I haven't got anything created.
Come on, we can all chip in with the questions.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's. Okay, have you got has anyone got a would you rather to mind? And I'll
play the would you rather end the stream or would you rather go ahead with it?
Wait a minute.
Would you rather?
Cooper, you were saying?
All right, then. Go on, then. All right, so I'll do one for you then, Sean. Would you rather we try and find another player to play the right wing back role from the current squad, or would you rather we just ignore it, don't actually play a right wing back, shift the team to the right and play 2 left wing backs?
Oh my god! So this is what happens when you're unprepared.
No, seriously. Would you rather persevere with Emerson, or do you think we should look at a player from a different position as a stopgap?
So as in like bring in Sessegnon as an inversion, right? Inverted.
Yeah.
Right. For me, the problem with I've got no problem with the idea of having Sessegnon at left wing back. But for me, if you're going to do, at right wing back as an inverted right wing back, the problem is that if you've got Kulusevski ahead of him, who also wants to duck in on the left, on his left foot, then you can't really do the inverted wing backs unless the people that are more advanced are naturally people that want to go down the byline, right? So you would need to have a Lucas Moura playing ahead of Sessegnon for it to make sense, in my opinion. If you have two players who are on the right that both of them want to cut in on the left and use their left foot, doesn't really make sense. So I'm all for playing him there, but it would require playing Lucas Moura ahead instead of Kulusevski. That's my kind of contention with the concept. What are your thoughts?
Why?
Huh? Different question for different people, or
well, anyone want to chime in on that one?
On that one, I'd be honest with you, I'd rather see anyone rather than Emerson. I don't care if it's the Pope.
I'd like to see Alan at right wing back.
Yes.
On your scooter going up the wing.
Yeah.
I'm gay for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Bobby K's back.
Oh,
Sorry,
he's here.
Bobby, I've left you in the background.
Sean, I'm in the back room. Sean, I'm here. Sean, let me in. Fucking hell, Sean, let me in.
Yeah, what the fuck,
Bobby,
man? Like, Jesus, like, who do you have to know around here to get on here? Like, I thought I was pretty good. I know that guy in the top corner there, Kuva. I know that handsome fella in the middle there, Mr. Harris. That beautiful soul
Mr.
named
Harris?
Barry.
Mr. Harris.
Well, hey, man, you got to give Mr. Harris some respect.
Alan.
He's such a lovely man.
Alan.
And then,
Order your food, Daigle. Stop piping in and interrupting.
and then, of course, my partner in crime there, Mark, and then my ambassador of the YouTube world, Brian, of course. Hello, gentlemen. But I'm curious, who's the young fella hosting today? Jesus, Sean, when I first looked, I fucking didn't recognize you until you started laughing. I was like, oh, my God. You look so young, man. Looking good, brother. Looking good.
I've exposed the chubbiness of the cheeks. That's one of the benefits of having 20-day growth is that it covers things up. Bobby, listen, I'll be honest, mate. Unless you've got like a list of 100 fucking amazing questions, I think this show's naturally coming to its end pretty soon, mate. So, I do want to ask you
to say goodbye. I just need to say goodbye. I just like to come in and drop the mic and just leave. That's it. You know the way I roll. 10 minutes is all I want.
I want to hear your overall thoughts. I want to hear your overall thoughts on the Brentford game, on how you think we can resurrect our performance from Brighton because it was so woeful.
You know what?
What are your thoughts?
Sorry. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. That was it.
What it is for me, basically, as every day passed by after the Brighton game, the simmerness kind of went down. The fire kind of fizzled out. So I'm not as upset as I was 5 days ago. I'm more hopeful again now. Just based on the fact that Conte's back, he's got the boys training. You see the training videos from this week. It looks like people are putting in a shift. There's none of this horsing around and having water balloon fights and playing makeup games or whatever else the hell shit they were doing last week before the Brighton game that put them in that bad spot to end up putting in such a shit performance. But I'm pumped. Like, I know Brian's been saying for weeks, this was the one game that he considers the banana peel kind of thing. And now I don't think anybody would have disagreed with that if the Brighton result didn't happen. The only reason I'll disagree now is because I think with that Brighton result, we're going to be pushed back into the mentality that, look, everything is a battle now, and we've got to be ready for the war. We've got 6 weeks left, including tomorrow, and that's it. This is it. This is the home stretch. This is the final leg kind of thing. They should see the finish line. So if he can't inspire them at this point to finish off and get to fourth, which we didn't have expectations for a little while ago anyways, then that's on the team. I'm not going to blame Conte at all at that. That's their failure to do what he's asked, because we've seen, yes, he doesn't have the right tools in the toolbox for what he wants to accomplish, but he's still been able to get the results for us, and good results. Decent football being played, still weaknesses at the back and everything. But I'm very confident going into this game. I think we're going to be able to to come out with the 3 points. Now that Arsenal has put the pressure back onto us again a bit, and it comes down to, do we be Spursy or do we rise from the pressure? And I'm hoping and believing that Conte has wiped out that Spursy mentality and we rise to the pressure. That's it. It all comes down to the 11 that are going to be on the field, and hopefully they kind of kick it up a notch being away, and you'll have your away fans there and a small number but a large voice supporting you. So go on, boys, give them a show, right?
And what's your prediction for the game, Bobby?
3-1, sticking to what I said this morning. Sticking to 3. I jokingly said with Ben and Sim earlier that I love seeing Eriksen back. I love seeing him playing great football again, smiling again. You know, the man that basically had a brush with death has come back stronger, and you've got to respect anybody in any walk of life that comes back from something like that and comes back stronger. So full credit to him for that. I know everybody's going to look back at the last 16, 18 months he had with us as a disgrace and his poor man attitude, this and that. I don't care. I look at what he did before that for us and the amount of points that man alone got for us. And I respect him and credit him 100% for that only. So a 72-yard free kick stunner from Eriksen, their only goal, and 3 goals from the Spurs there, and Emerson to get a hat trick.
I have to say, Bobby, a 72-yard free. I have to say, an Eriksen free kick from 72 yards. That's quite a free kick.
Yeah, he's going to take it from the first stand of the visitors, first row of the visitor stand.
But also, Bobby, you're forgetting that he'll hit the first man. He won't beat the first man. So,
well, that's what he did for us. So you know what? I'm like I said, I'm just want to see him do well going forward. I don't want to see him do well against us. But if anybody scores against us tomorrow, obviously I'd want to give him the credit and not anybody else on that team. And for that reason only, I give them a 3-1. Otherwise, I think Conte's really going to tear into them. You know, Royal is just consistently showing to us that he is not a defender. Who knows if he can turn into a winger one day, you know, the kind of thing that we did with Bale where, you know, he just naturally was not good at defending. So correct me if I'm wrong, Redknapp pushed him up into the left wing role, and from there he just excelled into, you know, and excelled and just continued to go strength to strength. So I'm hoping that kind of might even happen with Emerson. Who knows, a positional change or something. And on the flip side, a positional change, bringing Bergwijn or Mora back into the right wing back role. Who knows? But I know you guys aren't too keen about Sessegnon being on there, because then with Decky in front of him, you got the 2 left-sided guys on the right side, and you got 2 cutting in. And that's really not a good formula for football. You want 1 natural-footed player on the side of the field they should be on. So it's really a tough call, but in Conte I trust, in Conte we trust, so I think he's going to be able to get the situation right hopefully tomorrow, because otherwise, you guys, last week was a 7:30 in the morning start here. They fucked up my whole day, guys. Don't fuck up my day this weekend. Don't mess up my weekend this weekend, please. That's all I ask. You know, the weather is good here, the sun is shining. Me and Brian Daigle are going to go for a nice steak after the game, and we want to enjoy it.
That sounds amazing.
That's brand new information to me.
Surprise, Brian! If they win, we're having a date night tomorrow night.
Right, okay, that's yeah. I'm not going to Scotland. Bobby, are you going to Scotland tomorrow?
I am not, because it's the boys the football training, right? They got 3 more weeks left.
That's what I said. I won't be in the Scotland Yard, and then I've got Bob's Spurs show, so we'll have to put that date night on for Sunday.
Well,
that's right, Bob's show.
Let me ask you a quick question. Has the show naturally come to its conclusion, or is Danny Kyriakou, is it worthwhile coming on? I don't have any more questions to ask everybody.
No, I at this point don't want Danny to come in, because as far as I'm concerned, the best looking guy in the panel now came in to help finish you it off. So to bring in somebody better looking than me is just really hurtful.
Yeah. Bob, you say that. Bob, you said that with your camera off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the best.
So your logo.
Canadian logo.
And when you said you came in to finish us off, what do you mean?
He's gone as well.
If the bun comes on, all I will say is if the bun comes on, he can replace me, because I've got a couple of things to do before I go on to Tommy's stream at 4 o'clock. So if he comes on, he can be a substitute for me.
I've got a really quick would you rather question for everybody. So it should be, in theory, it's a quick answer.
Better, mate. Okay,
Shall
Cooper,
start
go with your would you rather.
Shall start off with Bobby since he's there. Would you
Sorry,
rather
yes.
we bring in two £60 million players who are world class, or 6 decent players for 20 million apiece who fit the positions we need to reinforce?
Wow.
Honestly, Kuva, I would go with the 6 for 20 because we need that many players. If we were in a position where 2 players could consistently change the entire format of our team and us not have to rely on just Kane and Son, then okay, I would say bring in those 2 players. But because we are so inconsistent in so many parts of the field that we need upgrades in almost every other position other than the front 3, I would say go with the 6.
What about
it's about smart spending,
4 £30 million players?
My goodness, you are really testing my Indian math skills right now, huh?
Or 8 £15 million players.
Well, Conte said he wants 6, right? He wants 6 players coming in, right? So, sorry, I don't know if that's causing much. He said he needs at least 6 players. So this, in reality, it doesn't really matter how much we spend on who. It matters that we get the players he wants in, and secondly, that our scouting department finally gets it right. You know, stop looking to the future players. Stop finding, bargain basement price solutions to players that he wants. Otherwise, the list that you guys went over and the prices that you went over, when you came up with that list that I believe it was you, Kuva, that came out with, and it came to amass to about 80 million in total for those names. All of those players that you mentioned would be serious upgrades to our team overall. So if we can do that much business for a small fee of 80 million, because let's face it, in today's market, 80 million is almost pennies. I would take that in a heartbeat.
One player.
Yeah, one player, exactly. Yeah, well, Vlahovic was 75 for Juventus, wasn't he?
There we go.
So there you go. Like you said, Marco, that could potentially be one player. One player is not going to elevate our team to the point where we're going to have success in different competitions. We need to have the entire squad up. We're short. We are severely short. So if we're going to go into next season with Champions League football, with the EFL Cup, with the FA Cup, with the league, Conte is, if he's seriously looking to fill the silverware cabinet up finally, or I shouldn't say fill it up, but to put something on a shelf finally, then he's going to need the proper tools. Yeah, anything. I start somewhere. The first one is, like they say, the hardest. Somebody on a show the other day said Steve Perryman actually said that winning the first one is the hardest, because I was going on about Kane's mentality, and maybe it's his lack of mentality that he put so much pressure on himself in a final, and that's why he almost fails in a final, that he doesn't turn up sometimes, or we want to use him as the scapegoat kind of thing. But when I heard that point, and that coming from a legend like Steve Perryman, to say the first one is the hardest to win, and after that it kind of becomes easier. The pressure is off, in a sense. You can play more naturally. Then I can understand that that's the mentality. So just get anything. I'll take the EFL Cup right now.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought things were going to wind its natural course,
whoa!
Everything
two handsome
starts to
people
ramp
now.
itself up. Ladies and gentlemen, I haven't got a chance to press the doorbell, but first of all, I need to welcome to the show.
I never got that.
If you get 1 bun, you get 2 buns, and 2 buns equals a Princess Leia. But ladies and gentlemen, also making his debut on the Tottenham Spurs Talk Show, it's the Resonator. Have you got any tobacco for my Resler? Have you got any tobacco for my Resler?
Thank you, fans. Thank you for having me.
Wowzers!
I like to
9 people. We were going to call it a quits. And we're growing.
Just when you try to get out, Sean, we pull you back in.
Absolutely.
Okay, guys. On that note, I have to say I'm going to go, but I have to say, Danny's brought up the great picture for our show with Sean on Sunday. I'll let everyone else do the talking as I go. I know for sure that Rez is definitely on location. It looks very much, he's on location. I was about to say Bob and Kim, and there he is.
His beard's grown quick, isn't it?
But what are you wearing? What was he wearing?
He's got a tan.
It's very obvious. I was about to say, I know that couch anywhere. So say hello to Bobby and whatever. I don't know what he was wearing. I'll find out later. Say hello
Hold
to
up a
Kim.
minute. Hold up 1 second. Just so I know what's going on there. Rez, have you got like just a looping GIF of?
No, he's at Bobby.
Bobspur?
No,
Is
he's
that
at Bob's.
Bobspur?
He's at Bob's.
I thought it was like a looping
No,
GIF in the.
no, he's at Bobby.
What the fuck is going on?
What the fuck are you wearing? Oh, it's a hoodie. Okay. I was wondering what the fuck is. Yeah,
long words. When you scream while you're driving, you don't end up driving to the point you're supposed to actually go to, and you park somewhere else, and then you realize you're fucking stupid.
You know what? I've got a really important point to make, right?
What the fuck is going on?
But yeah. So yeah, listen. I'm gonna go. So everyone have a great day. Everyone have a great weekend. Love you all. Danny will speak later on.
Cheers.
And as always, Levy out.
Get out! Get out, you slag!
What the hell is going on?
Nothing. I'm just sat here on this generic, non-identifiable couch, and just chatting with people.
Bob Spur is not with Rez. That's a looping GIF, right?
No, he is.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
together. I mean, they're not together, but they are together.
I thought it was like a looping GIF that you had. It was like the similarities are in. Rez, if you grew the rest of your beard, mate, that would be indecipherable almost. It's madness.
Well, it's almost like when sort of I'm having problems with my camera, so this is why I keep sort of cutting in. And... But when I start having the shave, I'll look like Rez, which I really don't want to do. But I'll tell you what, the other day when I went to the supermarket, I found that a lot of the aisles and products that we were trying to buy weren't available. And I don't understand why it happened like that. But as always, I blame Daniel Levy. Because it's true. It's all because it's Daniel Levy's fault that he's a stupid cunt. What can you do?
Oh, this is madness.
We're both here.
How are you, boys? This is madness. Fantastic. It's fantastic.
It is Rez's phone, so I will put you back to Rez. Yeah.
We were going to wrap up, but I'd love you guys to. Do you have any thoughts on the Brentford game or on the transfer problems of the summer?
Yeah, Brentford game. I've been saying I think it'll be a tough game. I reckon we'll win it, but it'll either be like a really narrow sort of low scoring game, or it'll be like a mad like Reading 6-4 game. If you guys remember that one, the played years ago, it'll be something like that. With regards to summer transfers, I mean, you know what? Ultimately, we've got to start acting like the big club that we are supposed to be, right? Tottenham still have cachet around the world. They should be able to attract players. I don't have this issue with the idea that, there are players out there whose ego is too big for Spurs. If, say, for instance, Dybala was going to somewhere like Brentford, with no disrespect to them, to Brentford or to Brighton or to Norwich, you could argue that maybe the egos would be a problem. But
whose hand's that? Is that Bob Spur's hand again, or?
I don't.
Cheeky sods.
Give him well.
Guys, Rez, are you and Bobby putting keys in the bowls tonight, or what? What the hell's going on?
We don't need to.
We don't need to.
It's.
Oh, that's so weird. How do I put one person at the top? No, there you go. That's what it is. One person. How do I make me go away? And here we go.
There you go.
The right button? No, that's not the right button. Fuck's sake!
No, just click and drag.
Click and drag.
Ah, Where are you? There you
Vain,
are.
Sean. You're so vain. Really is. You're so vain. You probably think this show is about you. You're so vain.
You're so vain.
Bobby K, you've driven around the whole of Toronto, haven't you, mate?
I'm only done 3/4 so far, but don't forget it's traffic time here, so it looks like I'm going far, but in fact I'm moving very little, and it's in small bursts basically. So yeah, I actually left for work early today because I had to get over to my mechanic and just get something quick done before I went to work. But because I'm streaming with you guys, I went straight to my work location instead of the mechanic. Bit of Fridayness stupidity on my part, for lack of better words. But so right, better to end the week with a little stupidity than to start it. So I'll take it on a Friday instead of a Monday.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Why have you got helium balloons in your car, Bobby?
They're not.
Why not?
Is the bun there as well?
Yeah.
You there, bun? Are you?
I'm here.
What's that?
Mate, fucking say hello, bro.
Yeah.
He's got to spend the
I'm just
afternoon with
listening.
you tomorrow,
I'm
Sean. He
listening.
doesn't want to fucking talk to you today, does he?
guys, shall I do it?
Again?
Oh, what is that? Is that one of those hot chips, Rez?
Yeah.
No, it's not one of the hot chips.
No.
Chance. No chance it's a hot chip.
Rez, when I watched that back, you said it was $5.95 for that one chip. Was that $5.95? I'm assuming pounds. So £6 for one chip.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was mad.
I'm sorry, but the Indian match that is not worth it. You better give me a whole bag for that.
No, the weird thing is, they did like a couple of years ago, and there was like there's like different versions. There's like a 2020 version and a 2021 version, and allegedly the I think it's called the Parky or the Packy. Sorry, Bob. Chip is
racist.
Which one are you apologizing to? The one in front of you or the one on the screen?
You have it with, yeah, exactly. As Bob said, it's all right. Yeah, you have it with crackers, so it's fine. But apparently, this chip, if you wanted the 2020 version of this challenge chip, it's 70 quid. I looked at that and I thought, fuck off. I mean, I love
inflation.
That's
inflation. That's inflation. The cost of living is going up, Rez. You got to participate,
right,
mate. You know.
I spent $120 Canadian. I'll feed my whole family for that for a week. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
some of the special
now, so maybe about 4 days.
Yeah.
Some of the special reserves they use for some of these chili sauces are so limited in quantity. I'm not surprised they charge that much.
Wow, 70 quid for a chip.
Anyway, as much as I'm loving this tomfoolery, I did want to get final opinions. Bun, I haven't heard yours. I've heard Rez's. I haven't heard.
The football again.
You haven't heard Bob's.
Is that a problem? I'd like to hear Bob Spurs and Kim's in the background as well. But Bun, we'll come to you first, mate, and then come to the. And then we'll. Fucking hell! Oh my God!
You know what? Can we do this every day?
That's the best thing I've ever seen.
This is the way I need to
that is actually Danny.
Right, Bun.
Yes.
Danny's loose.
Bun, show yourself. Don't show that Barry.
He's on the shitter again. Don't worry.
He's on the shitter
Again.
Bun, I want to hear your Brentford breakdown and your Brentford prediction. And if you do have any insights on the wing back solutions in the summer, that's what the story is. That's what the show is supposed to be about. We've completely lost track. Amazingly, there's still 50 people that are watching the show that have stood true despite
How
the
the fuck that happened?
Fellas, I'll carry on.
Yes.
I'm going to tip on. I've showed up here, but thanks for the few minutes there, Sean. Guys, enjoy your weekend. Always a pleasure seeing all of you.
Wait, Bobby, before you go, mate. Bobby,
Great
before
name,
you go,
great
I'm
name.
just going to put before you go, Bobby. I'm just going to put your your boys' channel in the description. You want to plug it?
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Do you want to plug the channel?
And there's a gentleman in the background that'll be joining us on Sunday. So hopefully you guys can come out and check out the debut of Bob Spur on the 3 Spurs and then Ben Kaufman. So yeah, so you guys make yourselves available, man. It's for the children, right? It's for the children.
Talk about the channel. What can people? There's 50 people still.
You know what it is? Basically, as it started out, Sean, as you know, we started out as it was supposed to be just a post-game kind of review from the children's perspective. It was supposed to be a school project for my older son, and initially he was supposed to just do a media relations project, start something, and get himself 25 subscribers. And YouTube was one of the options. So obviously, me enjoying it so much, he wanted to kind of jump on this as well, and I said, let's do it, And they've enjoyed doing it so much that it's going to be, hey, buddy, it's going to be carried on. They don't want to do, they've already done 4 shows when we're supposed to do 1 a week. So they're going to, the boys themselves are going to do a pre-game and a post-game thing. And in the summer, we've got a little fun project planned, hopefully involving every single one of you in here. And we will definitely plan that out and get that going. And it's just, as I said, just simplifying things from a kid's perspective for some of the people that aren't married, maybe as in-depth knowledge as you guys are with the footballing and everything and all the terms with the low block, high press, this and everything like that. So, hopefully it kind of just gives some people that are maybe newer fans or ones that don't have the full football knowledge, like myself even, a little bit of education and have a little bit of fun over there and just see where it goes kind of thing right now. You guys have been all so supportive and it's been absolutely fantastic. Great encouragement, great ideas, Bob Spur, of course, credit over there for the intro video. Josh, the Tottenham guy, with the logo. Brian Ireland just put together an exit video for us. So it's just been absolutely tremendous. I can't thank all of you enough. I really can't. Like, God bless you all. I can't wait to meet you, every single one of you in person and buy you that first pint, because it's just been a blessing to be a part of this and be involved with all of you wonderful people. And, and again, I can't thank you enough for the way you've treated my kids. Like, as a father, I don't care how you treat me, but if you treat my kids good, I love you, and that's all that matters. So
you're a tit.
I'm sorry.
Bobby K, you're an absolute legend of the community, mate, and
love you, Bob.
Pieces.
During that 10-minute explanation that you've just given, Mark, the only thing that Mark heard was, "I can't wait to get you that pint." That's the only thing he took in.
Mark was like this the whole time. They had pint, what?
Yeah, that was it. Pint on, Bobby.
Cheers, Bobby. Guys, the link is in the description.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Cheers, Bobby. See you, mate. Guys in the chat, if you are still 45 of you listening to this nonsense now, but that is the guy's Bobby K's channel, his kids' channel. It's amazing for him and his kids. It's a family thing. If you are still and you haven't already found it, please hit the link. You won't leave this rabble that we are. You just go, a new tab will open up. Just hit the subscribe button. Follow there. His 2 sons are lovely, lovely kids, and they're enjoying this little community and the journey. So make sure you do that. Right, Bobby, Bun first, and then Bob Spur. Let's go through. We've got to wrap this up soon. This is an hour.
You've been saying that 45 minutes.
I know.
An hour and 45, Bob. An hour and 45.
Bun, talk me through your Brentford tactics. How do we recover from the shit show of last Saturday morning? How do we do it? I'll be seeing you on the We Are Tottenham TV thing tomorrow, so we'll talk about that during the game. But just give me your early thoughts.
2-1. That's it.
Okay.
2-1. That's my thoughts.
Well, cheers, Dan. See you later.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know, mate. Just if I'm honest, we just don't fucking turn up the way we did against Brighton. To be honest, we just got to do the opposite. Everything's got to be the opposite. Just at least.
Do you change any of the team around, mate?
I would change the team. Yeah, I would change the right wing back, but he's not going to do it. I would play Sessegnon for sure. I wouldn't play Reguilon. Reguilon had an absolute shocker. If Sess is fit, I'm playing Sessegnon all day, every day. If he's fit, which he should be, so I'd play him. Emerson he's not going to change Emerson. He's not going to experiment with wing backs when this kind of crucial stage of the season. And he's played Emerson there, and even in his press conference, he was saying, that it's an easier position than the fullback. He was actually saying the wing back position is actually easier. So for him to say that is kind of, it's basically saying like how shit Emerson really is if he can't even do that position, play that wing back role. So he's going to stick with him. He ain't going to play Bergwijn or Mora there. We haven't got anyone else. The only way he would change it is if Emerson got injured. I think in that position, I can't see him changing it any other way. I think the rest of the team stays the same. And just basically we just got to turn up. We just got to play completely the opposite way we played against Brighton, the way we've been playing the last kind of month or so. Because we've won 7 out of 9 games apart from that one, or 7 out of 10 now. But
do you think that Brentford? Do you think that Graham Potter has kind of recreated a template of how to play against Tottenham, strangle the midfield? You know, is there anything that...
Is that the mask you're going to put on later, Rez?
Is that the Red Devil?
That's amazing, Barry. Fucking, what's that guy? Mystico, or whatever his name is from WWE. Rey Mysterio. Do that long jump off the top rope as he's going.
619. 619.
All right, Bob Spur. Now we have your full attention.
No reason to change it. You know, from what I can remember, we've won 7 out of 10. We've thrashed teams. The only change we'd have to make is obviously Emerson, a right wing back. I don't think he's a good footballer. I think he's pretty shit actually, but we don't have any other option. You can't start putting in a Sessegnon or a Bergwijn this late in the season. At least.
Oh no, Sessegnon has to play, Bob.
Sessegnon has to play. Oh yeah, but there's a lot of talk about Sessegnon going down the right wing back.
Oh no,
I don't agree with that.
No,
but yeah, I'll definitely put Sessegnon ahead of Reguilon.
Yeah, definitely.
I just don't think Reguilon's got it in him. But there's the feeling is that he will start with Reguilon. Unfortunately, I hope he doesn't. But no, there's no reason to change it. We had a shit day against Brighton. We didn't turn up. But we just need to go back to basics, what we've been doing in 7 out of the last 10 games, 4 previous weeks, scoring goals.
Was it just a one-off bad day? Was it a one-off bad day, Bob, or was it was there more to it?
Yeah. We can dissect it all we want. And it's all very well, some of the fan base giving it the whole, we were lucky against Villa. We've won 4-0, yet we've got some fan base going, we were so lucky, this, that, that, ever. Yeah, exactly. We've got the same fan base who are happy to jizz over an Arsenal 4-2 win over a poor Chelsea side after 3 defeats in a row. You know, there's a lot of talk. Can we perform under pressure? We had to win against Newcastle to get to top 4. We did that. We had to beat Newcastle to stay top 4. We did that. Brighton was a one-off. We'll come back to winning ways against Brentford. It'll be a tight game. We'll win 4-1.
I love that. Yeah.
And on to Kim.
Kim.
Hi guys, how are we doing?
Yeah, Kim.
Kim. Welcome to the channel, making your debut.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
No choice.
No, I did. Yeah. I know you wanted Rez really, but yeah, you got a bit of Kim as well.
No, we got all we wanted. We got everything we wanted.
God bless you, Governor. So yeah, I think it'll be sorry.
Yeah, no, go on after you. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I just think it'll be quite a cagey affair. I'd love to be proved wrong, and I'd love to go with Bob on this. But yeah, I think it'll be a tight one. I think there'll only be a goal in it. As I'm Spurs, I've got to go with the Spurs result. But
what do you mean, as your Spurs? If you weren't Spurs, you wouldn't be backing us.
Possibly. But the thing is, because I am Spurs and because we've all read the script before, haven't we? I'd love to think that Conte is the wild card here, and we're not going to be quite as the typical Spurs, shall we say? But yeah, I think
it doesn't sound like deep down, Kim, that you actually believe.
I sort of do, but I'm so used to being let down by the boys that it just wouldn't surprise me at all if we just put in another shit performance. Excuse my French. So
no, it's okay.
But yeah, no, I think we'll do it by a goal. You know, I think we'll do it by a goal, but it'll be tight.
Well, listen, I think that's the first brutal honesty we've had today. Like everyone in the chats, everyone in the panel's been like, you know, I think Brian's been the only one. Brian was saying he's been fearing this game for a while. I tell you what, like I didn't fear it, but I do fear it. I think the performance against Brighton was a little bit more telling than just a bad day at the office. I think that we are really... Bun, what are you doing, bro? I need to regrow my beard. Put
the beard back on, Sean. Put it back on, mate.
It's going to grow. It's going to grow back. No, I genuinely... I think you might be right. I think you might be onto something, Kim. I feel like...
Welcome to Sean Butler and Son.
I think that Kim might be onto something. I think that Tottenham... I genuinely think that... I think we'll still do it. I hope we'll still do it. But I think, Kim's taking her Spurs kind of glasses off and saying, like, brutal honesty.
Yeah.
We're not as good as we probably think we are.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, they've let me down so many times in the past. I just can't shake that thought. But I'd love to be proven wrong, and I'd love to think that Conte is the factor that changes things. But we shall see. We shall see. If we do get the result tomorrow, it will be one step closer to believing, shall we say?
100%.
I think it's going to be the hardest game we've had in a while.
For real, yeah.
Because if you look at Brentford's last games, they've beaten Chelsea 4-1 at Stamford Bridge, and they've beaten West Ham as well. So
they're
on a good.
Like Eriksen was the missing piece of the jigsaw there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the only thing that might go in our favour is that their guy Ethan Pillock or whatever his name is,
Ethan Pillock.
Yeah, he's a bit of a pillock, isn't he? But he's incredibly tall, and he's got that monster long throw on him.
Yeah,
that can launch. He's not quite as good as the guy that used to do it for Stoke, whatever his name was, Rory Delap. Rory Delap used to be able to throw it like almost horizontally, but it's not quite as good as that. But it's still very dangerous, and so set pieces wise, we could be vulnerable tomorrow.
They're very good at set pieces as well. So
and we're not.
And we're shit at set pieces.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're pretty crap.
So it's gonna. I think Kim's right. I think it's gonna be
Cheers, Kim.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Kim. I think it's going to be a very tight game. I think it's going to be one goal in it. I think both teams are going to have a lot of chances. I actually think both teams are going to have a lot of chances. And I think there's going to be a lot of chances that both teams are going to squander as well. So, but it's going to be about bottle really. If we can actually.
How are you doing this? What the fuck? How the fuck are you guys doing this? This is madness. All right, that's enough.
Barry, I like your chair. Barry.
Isn't it?
Unbelievable.
You like my chair? Do you like the guitars? The guitars behind me as well.
I like it.
All right. On that note, it's time to wrap this whole thing up. We're an hour past where we should have been. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give everyone the final chance to say their final predictions on the scoreline tomorrow and where they can find everybody. Kuva, mate, you've been so super quiet for the last hour.
Mate.
Where can everyone find you? What's your prediction on the scoreline? And where can everyone find you?
I'm floating around the channels at the moment, doing the usual red style stuff. Not going back on shelf side Spurs as because they won't have me again after the last fiasco.
I've told you, you're on permanent standby.
I know. It's in my name now, mate. Backup Al. That's one of my new names. Yeah,
What was
as
it
for a
for
score
Walking
prediction, I've listened to everybody.
It's
Wise words
Conte
about
column B, I think.
wise words about Brentford and the dangers they pose. But how's this for a bit of realism? They've lost 16 games this season.
Yeah.
There we go, Cooper.
We lost
Bring us back
half
to a positive.
We
place,
lost
wasn't
half our games when Nuno was here.
Yeah.
So we're going to go there. We're going to go and dismantle them because we're a better side. End of the story. We're
Yes,
going to
Cooper.
take them apart. 5-2. It's going to be party time. They're happy because they're
5-2.
going to be staying up. We're happy because we're going to be back on the road. And the biggest kick up the arse wasn't Brighton beating us. It's the fact that Conte is back taking the training.
Yeah.
We are ready and we're going to
that's
stop
gonna be-
them.
that's a big
5-2.
thing.
Get in there.
5-2. Fucking hell. I've never
Let's
heard
go,
anyone
lads.
make
Sorry.
this.
Let's go.
Oh.
Okay. Cheers, Al. You can find Al at.
You can find Al buried under the patio because he pissed off Mrs. Al.
That might be the last time you ever see Al. And, let's give a little amen to Al. Best wishes and hope he survives the evening. No, thank you, Al. Thank you, Al, for coming on, mate. I was hoping to give you the next slot to say goodbye, but I hope everything's okay there. Mark, mate, dude.
Yes, mate.
You've been on the show for an hour, and you said you answered one question, and you had 30 seconds of speech, man. I'm so sorry. This wasn't the way.
No, that's fine, mate. No. That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine.
Prediction and scoreline. Prediction and where can people find you? And any last words?
Oh, prediction. No. Right. The main thing is, as Kuva said, Conte's done the training, and you got to remember last week he wasn't doing the training, and I think this week, to quote The Rock, it would have been boots to asses, and he will sort them out, and I believe we will win 5-0.
Get
Nice.
in.
Fucking hell, 5-0.
Christ.
Fucking Spurs Talk Show proving its name as the pit of delusion, the delusion pit where people
Delirium. Delirium, that is.
5-0. We've got a 5-2 and a 5-0. Barry, are you still awake, mate?
Sorry, mate. Sorry, it's still early. If you'd like to see me fall asleep on a stream, I'll probably do it tonight on the Hotspur Hood with Tommy Mitchell. No, look, I think I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go 5-1, 5-0, 8-0. I think I said 7-0 last week against Brighton. Rez, you're even more mischievous tonight.
It's
Look,
because
I think it's going to be a tough. I think it's going to be a tough game, but I think we're going to have enough, and it's going to be 3-1 Spurs. I think Brentford will score first, like I said. What did I say when I said in the Newcastle? I don't know what game I said that they'd score first, and we won 5-1. Newcastle it was, yeah. So 3-1, and we get the points, and we will see what happens come the week after when we have Leicester at home after the curry. So good luck to you, Sean, making your debut tomorrow, and enjoy those uncomfortable chairs.
Yeah, I'm wearing. I've already decided. I'm taking my cycling shorts with me, and I'm going to be wearing them underneath my normal shorts.
Okay, and Sean,
Yeah.
if you touch Danny, you're dead, mate. All right.
All right, Man, we'll come to you now. We'll come to you penultimately, mate. What's your scoreline prediction and last thoughts?
I think it's gonna be a close game. It's gonna be initially, right? My head was saying 1-1 draw because I just got that feeling that everyone's like kind of confident, but is sort of a bit hesitant about winning the game. Some people are more confident than others, and whenever that seems to happen, we just seem to just fuck up every single fucking time. But I'm gonna go with my heart because obviously I love Spurs, and I'm gonna say 2-1. Because I think it's going to be a close game. And yeah, final thoughts. We just got to fucking not play like cunts, really.
Never
Sorry
has
for
a
the word,
stream existed that the bun wasn't on without the word cunt being expressed at least once. Cheers, Bunny Boy.
Why
Bun out
are
of
you
6 months.
complaining, Sean?
I'm not complaining. I fucking love it. It's I've already been because Barry.
Just if Bobby
Reslar, what's your prediction, mate?
No, do you know what? I don't care. I don't care. We're gonna fuck them, right?
Okay.
We're gonna fuck them. Yeah.
What about the football?
Tools.
What about
the football? Yeah.
I know what you're doing to Bobby later, Rez, but what about the football?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the football. We're gonna fuck them with tools.
Prediction.
No, I reckon 2-1. I reckon it'll be 2-1. It's only because of Eriksen. I think Eriksen's going to sort of want to sort of perform for his old team almost, or perform in front of his old team. So I think he's going to sort of be a bit of a live wire. So yeah, I reckon 2-1.
Oh my god. This channel has gone into all sorts of levels of depravity.
I think De Boon has basically found his GIF store. His GIF
Elbunovic. Okay.
Yes,
Guys,
right.
for me it's a 3-0. I think we're gonna smash him as well. Not quite as much as Cooper does or Mark does, but more so than Barry, the Rez, and the Bun. Ladies and gentlemen, for those that are left, there's still 36 people that are watching across the socials, 32 on YouTube. We're going to call it
Drop
a day.
some C-bombs. That'll bring the number right down.
It should have been called a cunting cunt of a day about an hour ago. I love you all. Thank you, everyone in the comments for staying with us throughout this madness. By the way, last thing I'll say is, as always, what we do is put the everyone that's contributing on the panel, we put their show in on the hour every hour, and so you can still find Shelfside Spurs, you can find Tottenham Tantrum Gold, you can find Spurs Suasion, you can find Goal Spur TV, you can find Tottenham on Tour, you can find Ben the Coffee Company, and you can find I think that's everybody's. Everyone's channel, and of course you can find me at Spurs Talk Show. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you everyone that's left, the Rez, Kuva, Mark, the Bun, Barry. Thank you to Alan. Thank you to Dermot. Thank you to who else came on?
Brian
Daigle. And there was other people. Who else? Fuck, I'm going to forget everyone's name.
Bobby
K, of course. Oh, and you can. Yeah, I've got the Three Boys Spurs channels in there as well.
Phil
Latisse. Is there anyone else? Who else am I missing? I think that's it.
The topless guy next to you.
His name's Tarquin.
Whatever your name is, bro. Lick the screen one last time.
Yeah.
Thank you also to Kim and to Bob Spur TV in the background. Love you guys. We're going to say goodnight now. Thank you everyone. See you tomorrow. You can find me on We Are Tottenham TV for the watch along with Bobby with the Bun tomorrow.
Yeah.
5 o'clock on We Are Tottenham TV. I love you all. We'll see you next time. Hopefully with a little bit less craziness and a bit more.
We need the craziness.
As always, guys. As
Come
always.
on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on,
oh yeah.
Come on, you
madness. This is absolute
I ain't getting on no plane.
We want you to get a strike. We want you to get a strike.
Unbelievable.
I pitted a cut.
Bye.
Is it still live?
Yeah, we're still live. We're not live anymore.